We welcome you to the University of Akron Tuesday night action on tap, and it is a rivalry. Kent State making the short trip from Kent, Ohio here to Akron to try to steal back the wagon wheel from the Zips, who have won this matchup the last 2 years. Alongside the former Notre Dame star Darius Walker, I'm Chucky Kemp. Well, these two teams have combined to go to 7 bowl games in their program's history. Both coaches stressing how big it is to play meaningful football in November, which they are both doing right now for the first time in a long time.
Yeah, and it's really a big deal for both of these teams. One of the marks of a successful season is playing in a bowl game, and so we've got two teams that haven't had the best year by their own standards, but they both have an opportunity to win out and to make it to a bowl game. So to me, to have this opportunity in November marks for a successful season. So I suspect that we might see some really good football on a cold, chilly night here in Akron.
For Kent State, they are going to be somewhat reliant on the big play tonight, trying to create those, and one guy who can do it is Cade Wolford, their slot receiver.
He's been fantastic all season. The stuff I love about him is he's actually a former running back. So he was a running back in high school, played running back, and I think that comes out in his play to a degree, because when you see him catch the football, he can make guys miss, use some vision, get skinny in the hole, all the stuff that a running back can do. He does it as a wide receiver with the football in his hands. So I like what number 21 does. Expect to see him fly around the field today.
Keep an eye on 22 for Akron. That's Jordan Gant, who has a chance to become their first 1,000-yard rusher since 2008 with 150 yards tonight.
It would be so exciting to see him get over 1,000 yards today. I hope that he can do it, but he's a really good tailback. You know, he played at Tennessee State under Eddie George, and I think because of how good Eddie George was, we see a lot of that come out in Gant and how he watches film, how he prepares for game, what he does with his balance. He's a real good tailback. I'm excited to watch him compete today.
Veterans. We honor the veterans today on this freezing cold Tuesday. Our service members fired up for this one. Joe Moorhead in year 4. Darius trying to put together back-to-back years of improvement, which is something that Akron desperately needs to see for their football program.
And I think we've seen it some. We've certainly seen it in how they play. I think their quarterback, Ben Finley, has grown from a year ago. So you see it trickle down on this team and on this staff because of what Moorhead has done over the past 3 to 4 years. It's starting to play itself out.
On the other side, it's Mark Carney, who, what a year it's been for him. Named the interim back in April. They removed that tag just a couple weeks ago. October 30th, named the full-time head coach, and what a job he's done for a program who was 1-23 over the last 2 seasons. To have them in a spot right now, 3-6, probably a couple games they've left out there as well, but an opportunity if they can win out to go to a bowl game.
He's definitely got this thing trending up, especially when you look at the past 2 weeks. They're playing good football.
Kent State won the toss, and they want the football. That's one of the best return men in the country. Darylis Clark deep to return, and I would be shocked if he gets an opportunity to do so tonight on the short kick. But it's going to be great field position for Kent State near the 40-yard line to start this game. An offense that, for the last couple weeks, 2 of their highest point totals have come in the last 4. That's Drew DeShields, their young redshirt sophomore quarterback, who has dealt with all kinds of injuries. He's torn his ACL in his right knee 3 times, but he has battled back to be here and is having a pretty good first campaign as a starter.
What resilience he's shown just to be out here and available after tearing his knee up 3 times. He's a really good quarterback. Got to settle in and see if he can start fast here tonight.
Had to sit and watch the last 2 years. A lot of mental reps for Drew DeShields, and they say when he gets the opportunity to use his legs, he's going to be even more dangerous. That's trouble on the snap, though, right out of the gates, and that's something that has haunted Kent State, just miscues.
Looks like DeShields is ready for it. That ball is just low. That was a low snap from Austin Rivera, the transfer from FIU. Now, the thing about this offensive line, Chucky, is they move different guys around. So you could see a different center, you could see a different guard. This offensive line switches positions a lot throughout the season.
Dustin Morrell would be their typical center, but you said it, there's been a lot of moving parts, injuries. It's a hard running on a cold night by Gavin Garcia, finally knocked down at the 42-yard line to set up 3rd down, tackled by Roderick Hunter on the play.
Something these safeties in this secondary for Akron are going to have to do, come up and make plays in space. Third down situation, I'm looking for Cade Wofford, number 21. He's the guy they like to go to. He'll be in the slot towards the top of the screen. They like to feature him in these critical moments.
3rd and 7 to Shields. Throwing off his back foot. It was an awkward play, and it's incomplete. Pressured by Cyrus Durham.
Durham is a guy who's going to make a ton of plays for this defense. You see number 10 flying all around the ball. It's a fantastic start for Akron on defense to get themselves off the field.
Charlie Durkin on to punt to Sean Patrick. Spiraling kick caught by Patrick at the 18, makes one miss and headed to the near sideline, but he trips up around the 25. Good start for Akron defensively, trying to win and lift the wagon wheel for the 3rd consecutive year. It's been kind of a streaky matchup. Ben Finley, a guy is a 2nd-year starter, thrown for almost 2,000 yards, 2 or more passing touchdowns in 6 of the last 7. This is an offense that's been heating up a little bit over the last couple of weeks.
Really, with his progressions, he's gotten much better with being able to get to option 2 and 3 during the route tree. We're seeing the growth here on display tonight.
Finley returns, but 5 of his top weapons from offense last year are gone. So a lot of new faces he's throwing the football to. That is caught. Almost intercepted. Marcel Williams with his 26th grab of the year.
Yeah, I thought Joel Boma, number 12, coming down from his safety position, had a chance to pick that off. If he had gotten his eyes around a little bit quicker, he had gotten down there to grab it.
2nd and 2, nice throw over the middle. That time it upended is Kyan Mason. They've got the first down. The circus tackle around the A at midfield.
Mason has been playing terrific these past couple of weeks. Now, he's a small guy at 5'9", 155 pounds, but he knows how to find sweet spots in defenses and in coverages. Nice job picking up the first down.
He's got a touchdown in 3 straight games and 4 of the last 5. And a nice rapport with Ben Finley as this season has gone on. 1st and 10 at the 49. Finley again throwing over the top. 1 broken tackle and dragged down at the 46. Connor Kravac, another guy who's been heavily involved in the offense recently. That's his 15th grab of the season.
Yeah, he's really playing like a veteran. This is his 3rd season in this system, and he's really starting to grow. His first time starting. But you love to see a guy who stuck around a program for a while get his opportunity to play. Kravac's been growing.
11 of his 14 catches coming over the last 5 games. Has another one right there. 2nd and 4. Handoff to Gant. Gets through the hole. A stiff arm and he dives ahead past the 35-yard line. First time we've called Jordan Gant's name tonight.
I like this left guard, Amari Archer, number 55. Watch him get up to the 2nd level and push his guy inside. That space is created to give Gant just a little bit enough room to be able to get up to that 2nd level. The big guys up front are critical for this Akron offense if they're going to continue to run the football with explosive plays with Gant.
Gant leads the MAC in rushing attempts and yards. Remember, entered the night just 150 shy of 1,000. Here's Gant again, dragged from behind and carrying a defender all the way to the 20-yard line for a pickup of 13. Rollison on the stop.
Zips have already found something on the left side of this offensive line with Amari Archer and Darnell Johnson Jr., number 78. 78 and 55 are moving their defenders in front. When you get that kind of push, Chucky, you stick with it. You continue to run to the left side of this offensive line when they're dominating the way they are right now at the line of scrimmage.
Max Wisner motions into his tight end position. Handoff Gant, not a lot of space. Able to get about a yard to the 19-yard line. Tackled by Kanan Williams. Williams, a returning starter on this defense that still has plenty of struggles. One of the bottom units in the league, but significantly better than a season ago, averaging 10 less points per game allowed. 2nd and 9 for Ben Finley. And plenty of time. Now the pocket closing. Finley showing a little athleticism, takes off and dives ahead, close to a first down. They're going to mark him a yard shy at the 11-yard line.
This is an excellent job by Finley. He wanted to get the football to Jordan Gant in his outlet, but Gant hadn't turned around yet. So since he hadn't turned around, Finley just decided to tuck it and run, pick up as much as he could. Nice decision-making from the quarterback in a stressful moment when he was looking for his outlet.
Finley's brother Ryan threw for over 10,000 yards at NC State, was a 4th-round pick in the 2019 NFL Draft. Not necessarily known for his running ability, but showing it off right there to set up 3rd and 1. Now it's Sean Patrick in the backfield with Finley. Kravac in motion. Handoff Patrick, they were all over it, and they drop him at the line of scrimmage short. Joel Cordoba coming downhill. That's a true freshman making the stop.
I was wondering when Kent State was going to do this, load up the box and then blitz the safety. That time Cordoba did a nice job of waiting till the last second right before the football was snapped before showing he was going to blitz. That's a young player, just a true freshman, making a big-time mature play.
Akron has had serious red zone struggles. They've been in the red zone 36 times. That's 2nd most in the MAC, but they only score 75% of the time. That is a 10th in scoring rate in the league, as they'll take a timeout and talk this over. Cherokee Valeria, what a year it's been, not just for the head coach, but all the assistants as well. Valeria came in as the DB's coach in February, elevated to defensive coordinator in August, Darius. So a little bit tough to implement your entire system exactly. So he said, look, kind of put it in sections, maybe change up some of the verbiage to what they want, but a serious challenge for him.
I mean, a big challenge for sure when you're talking about terminology, but also just when you look around this defense, there's a lot of young players. Young players need structure. Young players need foundation. So you're having to build a foundation with verbiage in a system that's not yours. So Valeria really has a tall order and a tall task, but he seems to be up for it. Not to mention the fact he's a former wide receiver himself as a player. Always loved defense, so exciting to watch him continue to grow as a coach as well.
28-yard field goal right in the middle of the hashes for Matthew Sharam. Good snap and hold. Kick is up, and it is good to put Akron on the board first. With 8:43 to play in the first quarter, the wagon wheel is up for grabs tonight in Akron, Ohio. Zips in front. fans, some more dedicated than others. I'm not really sure what the O is doing there with a jacket, the C in the eye. Yeah.
No.
Are you that guy? Are you chest paint in the cold?
I mean, oh, geez. Not in this climate, no. If you put me in Miami, I could definitely be one of those guys for you.
I like it. 32 degrees. Feels like 18 out. Akron has a 3-0 lead. Rivalry matchup on a Tuesday night. Season winding down. Both teams, if they win out, can go to a bowl game. This one lofted toward the opposite side of the field and dropped originally. Akron special teams making a big play. Deshaun Martin couldn't hang on to it.
And Chucky, I'm not sure if it got caught up in the light with his eye line, but you see him backing up and it just hits him in the face. Now he did a nice job of at least blocking when the play was over, not completely giving up on it. But sometimes when that ball is flying way up in the air and you're retreating, your eyes can sometimes get caught in the light. A lot of times you see guys wear the eye black underneath. That helps with dimming that light a little bit. Something to think about on the other side for Deshaun Martin.
1st and 10 from the Kent State 10, lofted down the sideline over the head of Martin.
Now, Chucky, when you look at this defense for Akron, they run a 4-2-5. When I was at Notre Dame, I used to love playing 4-2-5 teams because it meant there was an extra DB on the field instead of an additional linebacker. I think that Kent State has to figure out how to keep this football on the ground and start trying to win the physical game, because they've got to have opportunities to run the football.
They've got 3 tight ends on the field right now. Handoff up the middle, and a decent run here, just as requested by Gavin Garcia to set up 3rd and manageable.
Garcia, it's his 4th year in the program. He has some wiggle to him as well. He's kind of their home run hitter. Now, they usually have a 2-back system in Garcia and Jordan Nubin, number 27. Nubin's a little bit of the bigger back. He's coming into the game now. He's right next to the quarterback in Drew DeShields.
3rd and 4 for DeShields. Rushes just 3. Little out route. DeShields connecting, and they've got a 1st down to convert on the 3rd and 4. Wayne Harris on the catch. He leads them in grabs this year and has had a good 2 weeks.
Well, it's just a perfect route by him on the outside. That's the true make of a quarterback and a wide receiver being on the same page.
DeShields another quick throw out quickly to his tight end. They've got a good gain on 1st down. Tarek Mulder on the grab.
Like to see wide receivers blocking on the outside as well. Deshaun Martin, number 1, did an excellent job of leading up on that play to give Mulder a little bit more space to pick up some more yardage.
Wolford is in the backfield right now. They told us in our call this week they'd get him the football any way they can. They were trying to get it to Darius Clark. He was the other one they stressed the importance of getting the football to, but it's going to move him back. Cade Wolford, Darius, haven't said his name yet, but he is a dangerous playmaker. 400 yards on just 16 catches and 6 touchdowns.
They do a really good job of being creative with how they get him the football in the slot, on the outside, in the backfield. They'll throw screen passes to him as well. He's dynamic and versatile.
Jordan Nubin is the back this time on 2nd and 7. Play action. DeShields rolling out, looking for an option. Throwing back across his body. It's a nice throw, and it's Mulder again on the grab out of bounds. Just a few yards shy of midfield.
This is an excellent job by Mulder of just tracking where the quarterback is going. He stops in the middle of the field and just keeps jogging to the right so the quarterback can see him. It's an excellent job on the scramble drill and a great coaching point for tight ends and wide receivers. When your quarterback's on the move, run in the same direction as he is, you might get a chance to get a football.
Wolford in the backfield again. 1st and 10 at the 47-yard line. Clark in motion. DeRealis Clark, a ton of speed on the handoff. Straight out though, and he's dragged down from behind. And again, Cyrus Durham in on the stop, the redshirt sophomore from Atherton, California.
Durham has been holding down this anchor on the outside. Does a nice job working with his hands first, then getting off and getting DeRealis down to the ground. A fantastic job. Now, his dad was in the military. He now trains MMA fighters. I think there was a little bit of an MMA takedown on that play, just saying.
Whatever it takes, sets up 2nd and 13. DeShields steps up, he's hit, and he's dropped. Ronald Hall, his first sack of the season, at a timely moment to set up 3rd and long.
There's two guys, Ronald Hall, 5, and Bruno Dawn, number 41. Number 41 and 5 both get home. Look how they're pushing their offensive linemen back into the lap of Drew DeShields. Excellent job using your hands on the defensive line, but just being stronger than the other guy in front of you. What a play.
Newman in the backfield on 3rd and 18. DeShields, plenty of time, just a 3-man rush, hit hard. He got his man across midfield. They'll be about 6 or 7 yards shy of a first down. DeShields is laying on his stomach. He took a shot right after that throw.
Looks like Melvin Springs is the one who got him, number 42.
For an injury to a player on offense.
Now, DeShields did a good job.
This will be a media timeout.
Trying to keep his eyes down the field, but we'll check on DeShields when we get back.
Game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 4 minutes and 36 seconds. 4, 3, 6.
Minutes left here in the first quarter. Before the break, Chucky, we saw this hit on Drew DeShields. Melvin Springs, number 42, he's keeping his eyes down the field. Shields is, and just doesn't really understand where his body is or where the defender is.
Number 25 for Kent State is now wearing number 59. Number 25 for Kent State is now wearing number 59.
A big shot. Luckily, he was able to get up and walk off over his own power. Hopefully, we'll see him back in the game, but you never want to see your quarterback take shots like that.
We'll see on their next drive if it is DeShields who is back at quarterback. For now, it's Charlie Durkin on to punt on this 4th and 5. Durkin loved to hit his average here of about 41.5 and pin Akron deep in their own territory. The wind kind of whipping around in his face. It's going to land at the 11 and hit an Akron player, and it's recovered by Kent State. And it's the long snapper, Gus Goodell, who recovers it.
Looked like it was Malcolm DeWalt, number 17, who the ball hit.
The ruling on the field is a scrimmage kick touched by the receiving team and recovered by the kicking team. First and goal for Kent State.
And it's terrible because it's just wrong place at the wrong time. Runs past the play. He's trying to get out of the way. Just happened to take a favorable bounce in the wrong direction.
The ruling on the field is the kick was touched by a member of the receiving team and recovered by the kicking team. That play is under further review.
Take another look at this. To see DeWalt running past Patrick. His eyes aren't even in front of him. Ball hits him in the chest. Now sometimes, Chucky, you would see the punt returner run and like wave his hands just to try to signal to everyone else that they need to get out of the way. The coaching point on that is if you're the gunner and you see him doing his arms back and forth, you would just run to the sidelines to get away from the football. It's not really his fault in this case, but that if there's something to learn out of this situation is to make sure that the returner is letting his teammates know that he's letting the football go so they can get out of the way.
You're just confirming that this did in fact hit DeWalt, which clearly it did. The other side of this is Kent State has only been in the red zone 13 times this year. They are going to get their 14th red zone trip off of a muffed punt, so to speak, and a fantastic field position at the 9-yard line and a huge chance to take the lead early in this game. Just a week ago, Darius, Kent State, they lose to Ball State 17-13. Numerous false start or offside penalties on them defensively on fourth down to keep drives alive. A couple personal foul penalties that put Ball State in great field position. They had a trick play get intercepted. They had a field goal made, but had to retake it because of a penalty and missed.
After further review, the ruling on the field is upheld. First and goal for Kent State.
They're feeling good right now that something has gone in their favor.
Well, I think you've certainly seen spirited play from them the past 2 weeks, too, in addition to that Ball State game, which, to your point, they should have won. The game before that against Bowling Green, they came back from a 21-point deficit to win that game in the second half. So you're seeing bright spots of play by the Golden Flashes.
See it here, one of the lowest marks in the FBS as far as red zone trips is concerned. It is Drew DeShields back at quarterback, which is another bright spot here for Kent State. Handoff up the middle to Garcia, breaks one, runs through the chest of another down to the 3-yard line. Gavin Garcia hunting his second touchdown of the season.
This is a big-time run from Garcia. Ari Branch, the nickel, came down to try to make a play. He got run over.
Garcia again, trying to find a way through the hole and backs his way into the end zone. Touchdown! What a turn of events after another Akron defensive stop. They give it back. Kent State in 2 plays makes them pay.
Wow, Chucky, the strength of Garcia on this play. He's stopped at the 5-yard line. There are 4 or 5 defenders there trying to stop him, but he keeps those legs moving, pushes the whole pile to the house. He's dancing all about it. Chucky, he does not miss leg day. He's not skipping leg day at all. It's not happening.
He took a dance right out of your playbook. The extra point is good from Harisco. That's just the second touchdown of the season for the Pennsylvania native Gavin Garcia.
Game clock operator, please reset the game clock.
Shades of Darius Walker. trying to stay warm on the sideline, trying to help his first-year head coach, second-week full-time head coach, get a win in this rivalry matchup. Mark Carney, 4 years at Charlotte, the last 3 as the offensive coordinator before taking over as the tight ends coach in January of 2023 at Kent State. Last year, elevated to offensive coordinator. And then in April, following the firing of Kenny Burns, elevated to the interim head coach. And then in the last couple weeks, named the full-time head coach at Kent State. And what a boost this would be. Already 3 wins, and he's doing a lot of positive things for a program with 1 over the last 2 years. This is returned to the 30, and fighting to the 32 is Brandon Hills.
Well, that's been the fun part for Mark Carney when we spoke to him. Part of one of the things he said is he's having a blast. Like, he's just enjoying this moment and this opportunity. It's not usual for a head coach to get his job as an interim and then also get elevated to be the head coach, but he's taking it in his stride, and I just love his enthusiasm. I love his positivity. He's obviously coming out with the play on the field, but I think he's got his head in the right space.
Loves Northeast Ohio, born in Cleveland, played quarterback at St. Edward High School in Lakewood, Ohio. Now looking for his defense to make a stop. 7-3 Kent State lead, handoff to Gant going left side, tackled at the 34, a pickup of about 2 yards on first down.
Nice job defensively on that defensive line by Jahian Roy, 33, protecting the edge. That's exactly what Kent State's going to have to do with the defensive end position. Whether it's Jamon Mathis, number 4, at defensive end now, or Roy, 33, on the other side, they got to protect the edge.
Finley looking across the middle. It's dropped off the hands of Kyan Mason. Would have been a big pickup across midfield, but a miscue, and it sets up 3rd and 8.
Unfortunately, this is something that Kent State is going to see from Akron because they've been doing it all season. 19 drop passes, count 20 now because of that one from Mason there. Wide receivers not being able to pull the football in, not helping their quarterback, Ben Finley.
3rd and 8, Kravac in motion. Finley looking for a big conversion. Gant is the running back. This is a young wide receiver group, but very talented. Finley rolling out, directing traffic, and he got his man. It's Marcel Williams right on cue, the redshirt freshman from Hollywood, Florida.
Smooth hands from Marcel Williamson. He's going to break out on his route, sees the quarterback moving, moves in the same direction. Excellent scramble drill technique there, but using those hands to pull the football in. And Chucky, that's one of the things we've seen with Akron with some of their wide receivers trying to catch the football, just not using their hands the way they should with bringing the football in.
1st and 10, Gant in the backfield. Here goes Gant shooting through the hole. And has a good pickup on first down. They'll mark him at the 44-yard line, tackled by Joel Cordoba.
This is the recipe for success for Akron, being able to run the football on early downs and pick up 6 to 7 yards. What it does, Chucky, is when you get into 2nd down, now the whole playbook is open. You can take shots here, you can do screen passes here, move guys around. Helps the offense to stay on schedule when you can pick up a lot of yards on first down.
Gant on the carry. Grabbed from behind. He does that just enough for the first down, though.
For Akron, Chucky, one of their starting right guards, Keelan Davis, number 56, is one of the few returning starters they have up front. He's getting a lot of push at that right guard position in that A-gap. If I'm the Zips, I'm looking at continuing to run behind him because right now he's putting on a clinic on that offensive line.
1st and 10. Finley dropped the football. Scoops it up, fortunately for Akron, and they limit the damage to about a 4-yard loss.
Couldn't see if he actually got bumped here, Chucky, or not, but Jordan Gant was not looking for the football at all. Looked like he wanted to give it to him, but Jordan Gant's assuming he's not getting that football. Might have been Jordan Gant's hand his right arm that knocked the football down as he was going through the play fake. Heads up play by Finley, but that was almost a disaster for the Zips.
Finley almost fumbled again after he scooped it up, didn't quite have it cleanly. Now 2nd and 14, Finley throwing sideline, caught there by Wisner. Just shy of the original line of scrimmage, going to set up 3rd and long.
This wide receiver group for Akron is really young. They've got Israel Polk as a redshirt sophomore. Ken Mason is a redshirt freshman. Marcel Williams is also a redshirt freshman. So a lot of young wide receivers out on the field right now for the Zips. Guys needing to grow up in a big way.
And a lot of young DBs on the other side of the field. Finley taking his time. Gant steps up right behind the line of scrimmage. Finley throwing downfield, sideline, and Williams and Mason both in the area, both kind of looking around. Not sure who it was to.
Yeah, it seemed like a miscommunication between them because that ball landed, you called it, right in between Williams and Mason. Neither of them were in position to catch the football, and both were kind of scratching their heads. They've got a combo around here on the outside. Nice job of hitting off the line by DJ Barnes there, getting hands on Mason to disrupt the route.
Joseph Castle punts this away. And fair caught at the 8-yard line by Wayne Harris. And that'll do it for the first quarter. Kent State, thanks to a special teams miscue from Akron, leads it at the break. The battle for the wagon wheel. The Zips have won it back-to-back years. Kent State had a great run for 4 straight wins before that. Doesn't matter tonight. 7-3 Kent State over Akron after one quarter. This is the most relaxed man in America taking in this game. Really just a fan of action in general.
What's he got in that cup is what I wonder. What's in that cup?
Some nice warm hot chocolate.
You got to have that to hold your head up, though.
That's right,
you need that sugar rush.
The wagon wheel on the line tonight. First meeting back in 1923. The wheel became a part of this in 1946 and has been awarded to the winner ever since. Back-to-back wins for Akron in the matchup. DeShields throwing first play, broken tackle outside. Wayne Harris spinning around to the 26, and a good start for Kent State to get out of their own end zone, essentially.
What a move from Harris here after he catches the football. Going to take one step to the other way and break a tackle, then get up the field for more yards with a spin move at the end. That's a recipe of success for Kent State, is being decisive with their play calling and decisive with their moves. Excellent job from DeShields. 5 of 7 already tonight.
It's a young receiving core for Kent State as well. Lost their top 2 playmakers from a season ago. Throwing out wide, caught by Martin this time. He reaches ahead and likely going to have a first down on back-to-back plays. Last year it was Krishan McCray, who transferred to Michigan State, and Luke Floria, who's currently on the Browns practice squad.
Well, I love the 2 calls from Clay Patterson, the offensive coordinator for Kent State. 2 stop routes on the outside. What they're seeing defensively from Akron right now is there's a big cushion at the corner position. These corners have been 10 yards off the wide receiver. Well, a good offensive coordinator is going to say, I'm going to take what you give me there, run stop routes. 2 big pickups.
First and 10, handoff Newbin, kind of ping-ponged in between the linemen to the 40-yard line, tackle by Javon Frazier, twin brother of Devon, who you'll also see on the defensive line for the Zips.
This is the story for Kent State. They're going to have to keep the football on the ground, try to see if they can pick up some more yards to mix it up as we get a look at Clay Patterson, the OC. He's been doing a fantastic job of calling plays tonight.
Elevated the full-time offensive coordinator in August. He was the co-offensive coordinator a season ago with Mark Carney. Ardell Banks makes the catch on that play, and it's going to be 3rd down for a Kent State team who is last in the MAC at just a 26% conversion rate.
Now, Cade Walford's coming back in the game, number 21. If you're Akron, you want to figure out where he is. He's going to be at the slot towards the bottom of the screen. Look for number 21 in these big moments for Kent State on offense.
Newbin is the back on 3rd and 4. DeShields talking to his offensive line that has been in flux all season. Plenty of protection for DeShields. Steps into it. Was there early contact? There was not. And it's incomplete. Mekhi Flowers, the junior from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, in coverage.
This is one of those moments where DeShields just got to take off with the football. Look at the middle of the field. He would have a blocker in front if he just took off just to try to run instead of trying to force that football. So I understand that in these moments you want to try to go through your progressions, but tough situations, 3rd down situations is short. You just got to take what the defense can get you to pick up the first down. That's a miss by the quarterback.
Durkin, the low, kind of shorter punt, but it takes a Kent State bounce and rolls all the way down inside the 10-yard line. Ends up being a great one for Durkin, just 47 yards, but pins them back at their own 10-yard line. Zips with 12:02 to play in the first half. For 20 years, All-State has celebrated every field goal and extra point made at participating universities by donating to the university's athletic scholarship fund, supporting all student athletes. Thank you to All-State. Akron back with the football, trying to put together a drive. What have you seen from this offense so far that you like?
Well, they've been mixing it up really well. I think the run and pass.
They go to the run on first down. It's going to be a gain of just a couple for Sean Patrick.
One of the things I love about the Zips offensively is they use their formation and their splits to stretch the defense out. So you'll see trips towards the bottom of the screen here. These guys are going to be cheated way outside to try to stretch that defense out so that they have favorable numbers on the inside to run the football.
Back-to-back wins for Akron, trying to make it 3 straight. It'd be the most wins under Joe Moorhead as head coach. They go outside to Marcel Williams to pick up the first down. Of course, you're talking about the offense. Joe Moorhead, an offensive guy, spent 2 years as the head coach at Mississippi State. He was the offensive coordinator in Oregon under Mario Cristobal, as well as at Penn State.
He's won multiple awards as a coordinator as well. He's an offensive guru.
1st and 10 at the 23. Handoff up the middle. This is Patrick again. Tackled at the 29-yard line.
Colin Lyons, number 72, has been blocking his tail off in the middle of this offensive line this series, pushing his guy back 4 to 5 yards. And anytime you get that kind of push from the offensive lineman, if I'm a running back, I'm going off to the sidelines and saying, Coach, you got to give me the football. They are winning up front right now.
2nd and 3. Handoff, Patrick again. Now they're going to throw it. Finley throws a strike to the 40-yard line, caught by Williams again, who has been all over the place. They move the chains.
Williams does an excellent job of just contorting his body at the end of this route here. He's going to stop, settle down, and then pimp himself to the right to catch that football. Nice job of just showing the athleticism of body control to be able to get your body in the right spot to catch the football.
Williams, 4 catches, 42 yards already. Finley going to air it out downfield, and it's Williams again to the 25, spinning back across field, and falls down at the 18-yard line. Now, big night for Marcel Williams.
We've seen Joe Cordova, number 21. This is the second time at safety where he's been out of position. He runs up, and then the ball gets behind him. I'm not sure what he's seeing with his eyes, but we've seen him do this 2 times where he has run up, and then the ball has gotten behind him in the exterior. The safety has to be able to settle in, or he's going to continue to be a liability for this defense.
True freshman in the secondary, a redshirt freshman in Marcel Williams, who has been on fire the last few weeks, continuing that 1st and 10 at the 18. Finley throwing over the middle and hitting again. This time Kyan Mason inside the 10 down to the 7.
The short passing game right now for Akron has been on fire. Slant routes, stop routes, anything in the middle of this defense has been working really well. Ben Finley seeing it, he's being decisive and delivering the ball very quickly.
1st and goal at the 7-yard line. Finley on the keeper, dives ahead to the 4-yard line.
What a play by Campbell Jr. there, number 11, the defensive end for Kent State. Nice job of forcing Finley to keep that football instead of giving it off to Jordan Gant in the option play.
Jordan Gant back in the backfield on 2nd and goal. 4 yards to the end zone to take the lead here in the 2nd quarter.
Oh, I like Israel Polk, number 5. He's at the bottom of the screen, split out, giving him an opportunity in the corner of the end zone. Could be a good recipe of success here for Akron.
3 underclassmen receivers in the trip set. This is Gant, dives forward and into the end zone for the touchdown. His 6th of the year to put the Zips in front.
Chucky, I go back to the stretch of the formation. They've got the numbers that they want on the inside, so it makes it easy to hand the football off to Gant because they split out those wide receivers to the bottom to stretch out that defense to give themselves some running lane for Gant to work with.
Sharam on for the extra point. Nice job by the holder on that to get it placed for Sharam. The snap kind of behind him, but it's Jordan Gant into the end zone and Akron in front.
This is a textbook strategist in Joe Moorhead calling plays here, stretching the defense out with the formation, and then the right call to run the football on the inside. The tire goes around the neck. I wonder how heavy that thing is. More football on the other side.
The College Football Playoff begins December 19th and concludes with the National Championship January 19th on ESPN.
And playoff implications galore in our ABC Saturday College Football triple header. Number 9 Notre Dame taking on number 22 Pitt at noon Eastern. The College Game Day crew will be there to start the day. Then 4th-ranked Alabama hosting 11th-ranked Oklahoma in the SEC. Will cap today with Arch Manning and number 10 Texas squaring off against Gunnar Stockton and number 5 Georgia. Each game also available on the all-new ESPN app. How about your Fighting Irish? Lost their opening 2 games of the season by a combined 4 points. Haven't lost since.
Yeah, they look pretty good. You got to give credit to Pitt, though. Pat Narduzzi, he's been there 10 years now. He's got that thing rocking and rolling in Pittsburgh with some good football. I'm already planning, since our game's today, I'm planning my meal. We can talk about this in a little bit. Planning my meal for that game on Saturday.
Okay, I like it. What are you eating?
Steak.
Okay.
Steak.
Are you cooking?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The grill's coming out. Well, it's been out, but, you know, I'm using it.
I have had not one invite out to Los Angeles to the turn from the 30-yard line to the 38. Kent State gets the football back. Offensively, on that last drive, we saw Drew DeShields try and squeak one in across the field. One of the things they talked about with DeShields, because of the knee injuries, kind of feel like maybe next year after another offseason, if he could stay healthy, that the run game will really become a part of what he can do. So far tonight, 7 of 10, 80 yards.
Yeah, we've seen him now. He's had a couple of opportunities to run the ball after plays have broken down, and I understand that he's got the injury. He's not fully there. but you have to take it when the opportunity's there, even if you're only going to get a couple of yards.
Handoff up the middle and hit almost immediately in the backfield. Gage Summers had a fumble return for a touchdown a week ago, makes the stop. Toledo, Miami tomorrow night on ESPN 2/7 Eastern. More action for you. Northern Illinois, UMass tomorrow on ESPN.
Always down for some action.
We saw a guy earlier that was all decked out with the action gear. They get it out wide. A quick tackle on the play by Roderick Hunter.
So, Chucky, I want to just go back to these opportunities that DeShields is going to have in the passing game. Watch this play. The defense is going to bail out. So you see the linebackers bail out. There's so much room here for him to be able to run. That was the last series. He's got to take advantage if he sees that again to try to pick up some positive yardage instead of trying to force the football. Yes, he may not fully be there health-wise, but he still has to take off and run.
3rd and 6. 6:30 to play in the first half. What feels like a pretty quickly moving first half to this point. DeShields throwing outside. That's a long throw, and it's incomplete. DJ Stepney breaking on the ball. I drove 8 hours for action. Woo! It's a Toledo hoodie. What is going on here?
That is commitment there. I'm trying to think about what I would drive 8 hours for. In-N-Out Burger. You had In-N-Out. Would you drive 8 hours for In-N-Out?
I mean, you know me. If I see it, it's happening. So don't tempt me.
Double-double.
Durkin on to punt. He's going to take a big hop inside the 15 and down to the 10 where that ball is downed for Akron to take over to try and extend after a very positive last offensive series. They lead Kent State by 3 with just over 6 to play in the first half.
6 minutes left here in the first half. Jelani Davis, he's a big man, 6'2", 285 pounds, but in that game against Bowling Green, he took control towards the end of the game. I think they're going to need that here right now for number 95 to make some plays to put some pressure on the offense.
See if he can disrupt them after an 8-play, 90-yard scoring drive that spanned 4 minutes and 11 seconds. They'd love to finish the half with another one of those and take a 2-score lead. Fake handoff from Finley, tipped up in the air, dangerous, and it's still caught. Williams can't be stopped tonight, and he's finally tackled across the 40-yard line.
One of the first times that Kent State's get home with pressure on Finley. Excellent job getting in there to add some pressure on him, and the ball gets tipped up, but Williams just cannot be stopped today. Right place, right time for the young redshirt freshman. The concentration to catch that football off the tip, seeing all those white jerseys in front of you, big time play from the young man.
His 6th catch of the night. He's now over the century mark in receiving yards. Handoff to Gant, who dances around and is tackled at the 45-yard line by Mason Woods, their second leading tackler and the returning linebacker.
This has just been incredible what Joe Moorhead has done on the play calling here, because he just continues to mix it up. Finley's 10 of 12, 152 yards. Has 8 carries for 44 yards. He's been fantastic on the play calling here tonight.
And he is the play caller. He's the head coach. He's the offensive coordinator. Not going to give up those play calling duties.
It's his baby. You know, what are you going to do?
2nd and 7 now for Ben Finley. Throwing. Williams, 7th grab tonight to the 50-yard line, 2 yards shy of a first down. A bunch of white jerseys in the area. Woods, one of them again. Williams says, I need a break for a second.
Give the guy some water. A chance to catch his breath there. Incredible job again just on the play calling. We're literally seeing run play, pass play, run play, pass play. Every single time mixing it up.
He was taking the chain off. Third and 2. Polk in motion, handoff up the middle to Gant, who dives ahead. He's got the first down. As the clock ticks under 4 minutes remaining in the first half.
This offensive line is really starting to gel, Chucky. Kenneth McManus, the 4th, number 53, the left guard, did a good job of getting up and pushing his guy to the side to allow Gant a crease to be able to pick up the first down. And that's the thing about this offense that we've seen flashes of all season. All areas can be really good when they're playing well. The O-line, the running game, the wide receivers, the quarterback. It's just the consistency that they've missed week in and week out, but it's there.
We talked about it with Ben Finley coming back. It's great you get your quarterback back, but he lost his top 5 weapons, so he's thrown to a bunch of new faces, young guys. Jordan Gant was a fantastic pickup from Tennessee State, but taking a little bit of time, though. The last 3 weeks, they've scored 24 or more points. It's their best 3-week stretch of the season. They look good again to start the night. They could put together back-to-back touchdown drives to end the first half. Something is starting to click for this Akron team.
And look, we touched on this a little bit at the top in the first quarter. The drop passes have really been the story for them. So when they start catching the football and don't have those errant drops, the numbers can continue to go up. But tonight, Finley's been great, Gant's been great, Williams has been fantastic and dynamic as well. But it's just the consistency. We got a lot of football left. There's a ton of game left. They got to continue to keep it up. But a thumbs up right now for this offense.
Both teams still hopes of a bowl appearance this year. Akron needs to win their last 2 games. Kent State needs to win their last 3. That ball was almost intercepted, incomplete, looking for Kyan Mason.
Excellent job in the secondary there from Derek Jackson, the 3rd, number 31. Playing well on the back end for Kent State. Another one of those young players, you mentioned it here in the secondary for Kent State on defense. Miller, Tucker, Jackson, Wallace as well. They're all young players, redshirt freshmen and redshirt sophomore. So bright future for this secondary, but it might take a little time.
Yeah, they've got those young impact guys on both sides of the ball. Mark Carney said, we're not going to make decisions in fear of the portal. We're trying to win right now. Finley throwing sideline, almost intercepted. Oh my goodness, that would have been incredible from Rollison.
Well, he was all over Polk here. Watch 22 come into frame. I'm not sure if he got there early or not. Looked like he just made an incredible play on the football. He was there in coverage the whole time. Maybe had a little bit of jersey, but that's an excellent play from the corner. And really one he should have caught and intercepted.
Cherokee Valeria talking about that trio of freshmen in the secondary. Said, I came into this year with a full head of hair. Look at me now, I'm bald. Said it's been a lot of fun. They are super athletic. Still, though, some room to learn.
Well, at least he has an excuse on the baldness. I don't have the same stress, so I don't know what's going on with
You've been working with me all year. Finley outside, incomplete to Israel Polk. You had flowing locks just 2 months ago.
Flowing locks indeed. This offense has been terrific, but a nice job by Kent State getting off the football field. Getting that young core, and that's the thing that we spoke about with Valero that he talked about when you've got young players. There's going to be ebbs and flows. It's a roller coaster ride. Sometimes these guys play well, sometimes a mistake or something is made, but the key is to continue to press on and keep that positive energy going. He's done a great job of that so far in his tenure as defensive coordinator.
Oh, that was almost blocked. Sent away to Wayne Harris. Takes a sideways bounce. And it's going to be downed at the 12-yard line. 3 minutes for Kent State to try and drive down the field and tie or take the lead. We have not seen a lot from Cade Wolford tonight, Darius, who we highlighted in our open. It's Garcia who has the touchdown for them, but you got to think they got to get him the football.
Well, we saw them too. If you remember back a few weeks ago when they played Toledo, the very first game of offense, they took a shot with Cade Wolford down the field. They just haven't done that yet. The aggressive nature that we've seen of them over the past 2 weeks hasn't come out yet. So you have to wonder that with 3 minutes left in the half, trying to get back ahead, maybe they take some shots here this series.
1st and 10 at the 11-yard line. DeShields, clean pocket, deep man, open, here it is, down the sideline, DeRealist Clark is gone. Yards, DeShields to Clark.
I certainly appreciate when we ask for it, Chucky, that they give it to us. What an incredible play. The aggressive nature of this offense is back in this football game.
Arisco tacks on the extra point. DeRealist Clark's biggest impact this year, Darius, has been in special teams, but certainly that's one on offense.
Watch Ben Kamara here, number 14. He's at corner. He falls for the double move. DeRealist comes up about 10 to 12 yards, does a stop route, turns around for a couple of steps, and then keeps going on the double move. Kamara bit on it, hook, line, and sinker on the outside, and it's tough because Kamara has been playing well on the outside. They haven't taken a shot yet, and I think because of that, he just kind of got flat-footed at that point of the double move. But that was a juke out if you've ever seen one. And DeRealist continues to be a big play machine for this team on the special team side and now on offense.
DeShields to DeRealist, quite the combination for the 89-yard touchdown. And what a turn of events, thinking, well, they've got 3 minutes to go down the field and score. They take one play. It's been a big part of their offense this year. Mark Carney finds himself ahead in this first go in the wagon wheel rivalry.
Well, I have to tell you, I mean, I don't know about you. I'm having a great time.
It's action, man. We love action. And the ball will not stay on the tee. And we're going to need a holder to come in. The wind gusts are up to 33 miles per hour tonight. We have felt that a couple times in the booth. Booted away with the wind behind it deep into the end zone for a touchback. And so just a few seconds after Kent State got the football, Akron will have a chance to drive the length of the field in 2 minutes and 50 seconds to finish off the first half.
Well, both these quarterbacks have played pretty well so far today. With DeShields got the touchdown that we just saw. And I think Finley has been good with what he's been asked to do. We've talked a little bit about the opportunities he's going to have, especially in the second half as a runner with the football in his hands. But so far, so good for both quarterbacks. Now, to me, Chucky, this series, this drive right now for the Zips is crucial because Kent State gets the ball after half. They're going to get the ball after half. So this drive is going to be critical for momentum the rest of the way.
Finley throwing. He's taking a shot downfield toward Williams. It's incomplete. Rollison in coverage. We've seen him make a couple big plays tonight. One of the most interesting things between these two offenses with Kent State leading is they've taken 2 snaps in Akron territory. It was after that muffed punt that set up a touchdown in just 2 plays. Akron has ran 16 plays on the Kent State side of the 50-yard line and find themselves down 4 points. 2nd and 10 at the 25. Kravak motions into his tight end spot. Finley, handoff, there was nothing doing. Blown up immediately by Mason Woods. They say is the undisputed leader, the alpha of this defense.
Yeah, he's certainly playing like it on this play. Mason Woods, number 0. He and C.J. Young are the 2 backers that make a ton of plays, number 0 and number 3. But look at him navigate that traffic around the running back to be able to get the QB down. Just a big-time play from the leader of this defense in a time when they really need it most.
Mason Woods was their top returner. He was 2nd in tackles a season ago. Transferred last year from Towson, spent 3 years there. He's a Jerry Rice Award finalist in 2022. That is awarded to the top freshman at the FCS level. A leader is a redshirt senior from Woodbridge, Virginia, for this Kent State defense. He probably has similar views of the young guys around him as his defensive coordinator does.
Without a doubt, the old guy in the group. Hard to imagine that for someone who's probably 20 years old. It is what it is.
3rd and 14. Handoff to Gant, who shoots through the hole. Gant to the 35-yard line. They've got a first down all the way to the 38, a gain of 17.
Right now, the MVP for this offense is Colin Lyons, number 72 at center. He is destroying his team right now on defense, getting a body on a guy to create that space for Gant to get up the field. When you've got a center who's athletic, can snap the football, and then get to the second level, just going to bode well for the running game. Lyons is playing outstanding right now.
5th year in the program on senior night, having a good one. Finley trying to escape pressure, and he is dropped in the backfield. Caden Williams and Thomas Aiden bring him down.
Williams and Aiden showing you some strength in the middle of this defense. Just pushing the offensive line back into this. Big time play from Kent State. Under 2 minutes left here to go before half. Can the Zips get it going? Let's find out.
Introducing SportsCenter for you. Personalized every single day. Now available on the ESPN app. Powered by your favorites.
Second and long for Akron out of the 2-minute timeout, trailing their rival Kent State here late in the first half. Darius, where are you looking here if you're Ben Finley?
I mean, Marcel Williams has just been outstanding here today. He's towards the bottom of the screen there.
Finley is looking that direction, now the other way. He's been under serious pressure this drive, and he goes down again. The fourth sack tonight for the Golden Flashes defense. Jamon Mathis this time, who transferred over from Southern Illinois.
Well, the first guy to get there is Blackowitz, number 58, a defensive tackle. He's the first guy to come in and to create the pressure there. Doesn't get him down, but the Cavalry able to come in and clean it up. And what an impressive outing for Kent State there, because they're able to get that pressure by only rushing 4. You only have to rush 4 to get pressure there. That's going to bode well, not only for your defense, but put a ton of pressure on the quarterback to try to find options quickly.
Darian Blackowitz, a true freshman D lineman. That's 4 TFLs on the season. Doesn't get credited for that one, but certainly had a hand in it.
Now, when you look at this Akron offense, Chucky, with sacks allowed, they came into the game with 26 sacks allowed, which is one of the top and one of the most in all of FBS. They're great with run blocking, but they've struggled with pass blocking, which is an interesting thing because when you look at this offensive line, they've got studs all around. They just haven't figured out the technique when pass pro. Got to figure out how to apply the skills they have in run blocking to pass blocking to counteract some of these sacks.
3rd and 22, pressure coming off the edge, picked up, throwing over the middle, and got his man down to the 49-yard line. That is right at the marker to Kyan Mason. I think they're going to mark him about a half-yard short of the first down.
Well, Chucky, I love to see running backs have an impact in pass pro. Jordan Gant that time had an incredible block on the outside to get the safety down, to make sure Ben Finley had the time to be able to throw that football down the field.
4th and 1, Finley and the offense staying out there. Clock ticking down, and we'll see how serious they are about this as it gets to 1:10 and counting. Gant is in the backfield.
Really surprised here that they're not trying to pass this football.
Just snap it. Finley, a little trickery in the keeper. He's got it to the 47 of Kent State.
I love the play call here. We've talked a lot about Marcel Williams. They use him as a decoy this time. Coming around, fake the pitch to him, and Finley's able to get up the field and pick up the first down. Again, I go back to Joe Moorhead and his ability as a play caller. So outstanding and elite with how he's mixing up and being creative with the play design.
Akron has just one timeout, 40 seconds to play in the first half. Finley taking a shot down the sideline. It is caught. There was a lot of room over there for Israel Polk, all the way to the 28-yard line.
That's a great route from Polk. There was a couple of guys open on this, but watch 5 towards the top of the screen. Nice job of just settling down, finding space right before the out-of-bounds boundary so he could catch it and get out of bounds. Nice job, but a perfect throw from Ben Finley.
Finley closing in on the 200-yard mark. 1st and 10, Finley throwing outside, incomplete. Closest intended target would have been Kravac. That'll stop the clock with 32 seconds. The Zips still have that one timeout.
Finley, 13 of 20, 197 yards right now in the air. He's having a really productive night here in this first half. But I go back to that offensive line. If they can figure out how to protect consistently in the passing game, really got a chance to put up a lot of points on a lot of people. But it's the consistency that's been the issue.
Finley throwing toward the outside and connecting with Jean-Louis to the 16. There's a flag in the backfield. Kent State had brought a lot of pressure. It was picked up well by Akron, who'd been struggling on this drive. But was it legit?
Number 50, 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Got Allen Jones Jr. there, the right tackle on the hold. Transferred in from West Alabama. The problems for this offensive line in passing attempts continues to be the issue for them offensively. Just consistency in the passing game with protection of the quarterback, but then also not hurting themselves in that area.
Kicker Matthew Sharam's long this year is 44 yards. He would be kicking straight into a very stiff wind. They've got to get some of this yardage back. Finley all day to throw, goes underneath to Gant, who's hit at the 32 and fights forward to the 30. 17 seconds left. There's a little extra on the far side of the field, but no flags come out. There's a timeout on the field. Akron's last.
Timeout. Akron. Their third and final charge timeout of the first half. This will be a 13-second timeout.
It was a nice job by Ben Finley at just understanding the situation and trying to get some positive yards in it, knowing that you still have another timeout. Try to stop that clock and get a little bit closer. Now, one of the things we see teams do sometimes in this area, Chucky, is try to get it to the end zone for a play, since they feel like they're close to the area.
Sharam is trying to size up the wind right now. He's taking it in.
Real scientific with it.
No timeouts. If this is short of a first down, even if they get a first down, this is likely going to be a fire drill type field goal for Sharam.
Now, Chucky, they've got Marcel Williams towards the bottom of the screen, split out. An out route to him, breaking out towards the sideline could make sense.
Pressure coming. Finley going end zone for Williams. Coming at the two. Spins, touchdown. Marcel Williams. Unstoppable in the first half. $155 and a touchdown for Marcel Williams, just a redshirt freshman who has caught fire in these last 3 games. Nothing to it for Sharam on the extra point in a back-and-forth first half. Ben Finley's been dropping dimes to Williams.
Well, sometimes, Chucky, it's not about being creative. It's just throwing the football up to the guy who's been making plays all day. It's similar to basketball where they play to the hot hand. You keep giving it to the shooting guard, to Steph Curry, because he keeps making threes. That's what's happening with Marcel Williams right now. Throw the football up. Doesn't matter where you are in the field. Doesn't matter who's covering him. If he's got a one-on-one situation, give number 2 an opportunity to catch the football by just throwing it up. He's playing lights out so far tonight, putting on a clinic here this first half.
Played his first college season at Marshall, redshirted, only played in 1 game, came over to Akron and is looking like Finley's favorite target down the stretch of this season. What a night it's been for Ben Finley, too, on senior night. He's a Phoenix native, but now in his 2nd season as a starter here at Akron and trying to help lift this program back to the postseason. Career high $155 for Williams. Had 104 a couple weeks ago against UMass, had 6 for 74 at Buffalo. Ten seconds remaining. You would imagine there is no way they'll kick this deep to Darius Clark. And they do pooch it to about the 35. Somebody's got to jump on that. They do. Good hands by the special teams unit. Kent State offense takes the field with just 10 seconds, and we'll see if they're happy to take this to the break.
I think that's probably the smart move for them, just to go ahead and to get in at halftime. Still a super close game at this point, with both teams finding some success on offense late into the 2nd quarter there.
The Shields gonna take a knee and take this to the break, but what a fantastic first half of action between Kent State and Akron. The wagon wheel is on the line tonight, Darius, and they both want it badly. It's been Marcel Williams' night so far, over 150 receiving yards, and the big touchdown late in the first half to put the Zips back in front.
Well, it's really starting to feel sort of like a bowl-type game. You're seeing two teams sort of play outside themselves. They both have caught a little bit fire over the past couple of weeks, but we're seeing some really good football, specifically from both sides offensively, with some defenses and some stuff tweaked. So I'm excited about the second half because I think defensively there's some things each side can do to slow it down, but the chess game continues.
Gant started it off for Akron. DeShields and Dorelis connecting for 89 yards, but Marcel Williams untouchable for Akron. It's halftime. They lead by 3.
September 2nd, the University of Akron community is celebrating Root Number 2025. Passion meets purpose. A month dedicated to supporting our students through scholarships and transformative opportunities. Join us in saying yes to student success by making your Root Number gift today. Every contribution, big or small, helps turn passion into purpose for the next generation of kids. Visit uakron.edu /November 2025 to make your gift and children's zip prize. Special shout out to our Root crew members for their assistance with today's football game. Club of Volleyball, Club of Ultimate Frisbee, African Student Association, Francophone Student Association, Chemi Jeopardy. Thank you for your support of Akron Athletics. This fans, it's time for Power in the Hat, presented by IBEW Local 306. Men and women proudly following our community both on and off the field.
(17-14), Akron leading Kent State. Less than 15 miles separate these two universities. Golden Flashes making the short trip over for this rivalry. Some very dedicated fans in the building. Big first half for Marcel Williams, over 150 yards receiving, and the big catch at the end of that first half to give Akron the lead. Darius, what a fantastic one half so far in action.
Well, it's certainly been a lot of ups and downs for both teams, which makes it exciting. The one thing I am surprised about here, Chuck, or should I say impressed with, sometimes in these rivalry games, the emotion gets the best of you. You get those late penalties, those late hits. We haven't seen a whole lot of the emotional stuff after play, which I think is positive.
Hills fields it from the 10-yard line, makes a couple miss. Here goes Hills down the sideline, tripped up at the 50-yard line. Brandon Hills with a big return, his longest of the season.
What an incredible job by Hills here to be able to hit those afterburners to get to the edge of this kick return unit. It's all about the spacing when you get the football here. Nice job of just getting through that end and then showing you the speed on the outside to be able to pick up the big gain. You have to think that the momentum from that touchdown from Marcel Williams right at the end of the second quarter, that has carried itself over to this team, provided a spark and life, and it shows up on special teams as well.
Sets them up at midfield, 1st and 10 to start the second half. Quick throw out right. Williams right on cue, has another 5 yards to add to his total, now up to 160 with 9 grabs.
This play calling again has been outstanding. Joe Moorhead, one of the best in the business at being able to be creative on offense, mix things up, change protections, change looks on defenses. He's been outstanding so far here today. We'll see if he can't continue that reign this second half.
2nd and 5. Finley handing off to Gant, who needs 82 to reach 1,000. Eats up 5 yards there and has a first down to the 40-yard line, tackled by A.J. Campbell.
Excellent job getting behind Delvin Morris there, number 57. The Zips have been on fire here in this first half. As you look at the numbers from Finley, Gant, and Williams, he's got a little more than 155 now after that catch. The offense has been outstanding so far for the Zips.
Most yards for an Akron receiver in a half since last November for Marcel Williams. Finley throwing again toward the sideline. Guess who? 11 more eaten up by Marcel Williams.
Now, I think Kent State defensively is going to have to start to change up some stuff here as far as Williams is concerned, because one guy on him is just not enough as it relates to his productivity here today. So one of the ways you can help yourself is bring that safety over the top. So right now they've got Rawlinson at corner on the outside. Give him some help over the top of him to be able to slow down Williams. Force someone else to beat you if you're Kent State.
Williams still top of the screen. Handoff to Gant, who is wrapped up in the backfield. He's going to lose about 3 yards on the play. Big Amon Williams on the stop, the transfer from Cornell.
It's an excellent job from Williams here in the middle of this defense. They also blitzed Rawlinson that time, so that's a new change from Kent State to bring the corner. Now, that corner, Rawlinson, we've talked about who he's guarding on his side in Williams. Might want to hesitate with calling that again. I like the idea of trying to mix it up defensively to put pressure on Ben Finley, but they can't leave Marcel Williams open on the outside and in single coverage. It hasn't worked thus far.
2nd and 13. Finley double move. Here's Williams. And he's looking for flags all over the place. He felt like he was pulled to a halt by Rawlinson. It looked initially, Darius, like Marcel Williams had 6.
Yeah, he had another one of those double moves that we saw earlier with the pivot to the outside. I'm not sure how they didn't call this one. Rawlinson was grabbing not only the jersey, he also had the shoulder pad. Wow, what a miss there. That was clear, obvious. Wow. You don't see that too often.
And likely a touchdown saver. Marcel Williams' big night was about to continue and reach over 200 yards. There is a timeout on the field.
Timeout. Akron. Their first charge timeout of the second half.
And one of the things that strikes me
timeout
about Joe Moorhead is just how cool and calm he is no matter what's going on. I don't think we've seen him jump out after the touchdowns or jump out after the call, but it's been all Williams all day. This was one of the first big plays he had early in the game with the spin move after catching the football. Excellent job showing you that wiggle there, and then the pop-up, able to show you the concentration and catch that. And then right before halftime, he scored this touchdown in one-on-one coverage, flipping the football over the line. He has been unreal today, 170 yards receiving and the touchdown.
You just have those nights as a player sometimes.
Sometimes you are just feeling it. Yeah, sometimes you really are. Sometimes you're just on. The beauty for him at this point is, I think, it's the right time of the season, towards the end, playing his best football. And then also in such a big matchup that means a lot to everyone in this town and everyone around this town, and really in this state, it's the best time to have it. I tell you, the best time to recruit and the best way to recruit is to win the rivalry games, because all the high school players within 2 hours around here, they're all watching.
Finley, a lot of time, pressure coming from behind. He's going to take off on 3rd and 13. Has a pretty good pickup all the way to the 28. He's 3 yards shy of a first down. And they will bring on the field goal unit with Matthew Sharam.
Nice try there by Finley of not giving up on the play. To make something out of nothing there to pick up the first down. But the momentum swings still in Akron's favor at this stage. They can make this field goal. You see Scram, he's been perfect throughout the season.
He's handled the kicking duty over the last now 4 weeks, including tonight from the right hash, and angles this one off the post. and no good. His first miss of the season as Kent State's defense
Timeout.
gets a stop.
Media.
11:30 to play in the third quarter. Golden Flashes have the football. Akron does not get points after the missed field goal by Sharam, but Ben Finley is thrown for 250 yards and a touchdown. We kind of thought, Darius, maybe these teams are going to run the football a lot tonight. These two quarterbacks have combined to throw for over 400 yards.
For sure, for sure. Kent State's back on offense here. We've got Darillis Clark out on offense. He'll be towards the bottom of the screen in the second position. He's number 30.
Cade Wolford is the back. Didn't have a touch in the first half. They get him the football here, and he scoots ahead to the 29-yard line and gets 6 on first down.
This defensive line for Akron, these are the places where they have to make plays or in the backfield. Ronald Hole that time, number 5, was the first to get there and had a chance to get him down. And when you get that opportunity as a big guy up front, you can't miss because it's so critical to everything else that's happening on defense and trying to keep this momentum. You got to make that play if you're Hole in the middle of that defense.
2nd and 4. DeShield's going to throw. Has time, thrown off his back foot, and it's caught. Great grab by Deshaun Martin, sophomore from Springfield, Ohio, to move the chains.
Not sure what happened to Robert Hunter here. Watch 13. He's in the middle of the field just carrying the guy. I'm not sure why he didn't go faster to try to get there to close the gap. Try to knock that football down.
Handoff going right side. This is Garcia this time. Finds a gap to get 3 yards on the play. Tackled by Bruno Dull.
We saw Garcia play well early in the game so far tonight. 4 carries, and that touchdown. That's the area for them offensively. They're just going to need to spend more time and trying to run the football. I understand everyone wants to air it out in college football today with how this game is going. Kent State needs to commit to running the football a bit more.
DeRealis Clark in motion. Wolford was in the backfield. They're setting up a tunnel screen, and they've got another first down. Their 7th of the night. They came in last in the FBS in first downs, but stringing together a good drive here with back-to-back.
That was a good job by Ronald Hull there, just stopping that play, because that could have been a bit more productive for Kent State if Hull wasn't there to negate it. Big fella's playing well up front. Just needs more consistency there, as he'll get a blow. Kaiwan Murphy comes in, number 54.
1st and 10 at the 43-yard line. Gavin Garcia is the back next to Drew DeShields, the redshirt sophomore quarterback. Throwing a slant pattern, it's dropped. He was looking at Ardell Banks, sophomore, another Ohio native in this matchup.
And this is one that Banks needs to make. He's a guy they've been trying to lean on, was a special teams guy a year ago, finally getting his opportunity to play some. When you get that shot, you have to be able to make that play. Just too important at this stage of the game right now to have simple things go through your hands because of technique problems.
That was just the 3rd play Kent State has ran in Akron territory in this game. This is number 4. DeShields throwing over the middle. That was behind Martin that time and incomplete. He was being chased by Melvin Spriggs, who had the big hit on DeShields earlier in this game.
Yeah, Spriggs did a nice job of keeping up with him on that one. He's the 3rd guy in the rotation behind Cooper and Summers on defense at the linebacking position for the Zips. Now right now, Chucky Cade Wolford, number 21, is in the backfield. We highlighted him at the beginning as the big-time playmaker. Now could be a great time to figure out how to get him the football.
That's just one touch tonight. In motion on 3rd and 10. They do get it out to him as they swing it out wide. He's got a blocker. Here goes Wolford, and he's going to score. Right on cue, Cade Wolford with another big play.
Well, we know he can make plays. They haven't really featured him a whole lot today in the deep passing game, but they call his number this time after going in motion, which means it becomes a foot race. That's one of the easiest ways to get your star player on the outside, is to move him on a flat route in motion. Because while he's in motion, that means that the defender has to try to keep up with him. So it's just an excellent call for the star of this offense, who's been making plays all season. Wolford comes up big again. Kent State takes the lead.
21-17, back and forth we go. 5 lead changes in this game, and it's all for that right there. The wagon wheel is on the line between Kent State and Akron. Kick off your Week 11 NFL Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern with the Countdown Crew on ESPN and the all-new ESPN app. They'll have the early breaking stories, injury updates, and previews of each game right up to kickoff. And our Week 11 Monday Night Football matchup, it's C.D. Lamb, the Cowboys, taking on Ashton Genty and the Raiders. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC, ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and the all-new ESPN app. Peyton and Eli are on ESPN2. Coverage kicks off with NFL Live at 3 Eastern in Las Vegas. Then SVP and the Monday Night Countdown Crew at 6 Eastern.
Genty's starting to come on a little bit as the season goes. It's his rookie year.
Slightly different running styles than you had, I believe.
Just a little bit, just a little bit. I'm glad he got back to the Frankenstein stance in the backfield, though. Big hit here on special teams.
Sean Patrick, the recipient after the big touchdown by Cade Walford to maybe spark something for Kent State and see if their defense can get a stop on Akron, who's been moving the football well. We talked about it, the missed field goal took points from them on their last possession. But Ben Finley and company somewhat at will have moved the football.
They really have, and I go back to Joe Moorhead and just his ability to not only be creative with the play calling, but just to take his emotion out of it. He stands on the sidelines. He's a guy who you can't tell what his emotion is in that moment. He's even keel no matter what, and I think that's why he's such a good signal caller, because he's not influenced by that.
1st and 10 at the 20-yard line for Finley with Jordan Gant standing to his right. Throwing outside, Williams trying to get around the defensive back. He's to the 33-yard line, 13 more yards for Williams. He's up to $183.
Cadorba, number 21, again in his safety position. He has just struggled in coverage here today. We've seen him get beat on double moves and then have problems one-on-one against Marcel Williams.
Handoff to Gant, who is jumped on from behind, and he has a short pickup of maybe 2 on 1st down.
One of the things that's surprising for Kent State that we just haven't seen on defense yet is for them to put 2 guys on Williams. I know that that's not typically the way the defense is called for them, but just in these type of games, you have to help yourself by eliminating the option you know they're going to go to.
This time tighter to the line. He's going to come across the formation. It's another deep shot, and it's just overthrown. Jean-Louis was the intended target.
Oh, this is one that Finley's going to want to have back because he got him open. Louis was wide open on the outside. Another great double move. Went outside a couple of steps and then forced it back up. He was wide open. Now, Finley had a couple of options on that because Marcel Williams was also streaking across the middle of that formation as well. But that's a missed opportunity for the Zips in a crucial rivalry game.
3rd and 8. Finley steps up, throwing. Long ball that is intercepted. He threw it right to Terrell Miller, who takes it back inside the 15, and a big play for the Kent State defense.
What an incredible play from Miller here. Miller was on the outside of the formation, but he backs up. Finley doesn't think he's going to back up, but he starts to backpedal and get himself in position where the football is going to go. That's just an experienced corner reading the eyes of the quarterback. When Finley locked on his wide receiver, he just backs himself up. He's at the top of the screen, backs up into the throwing lane. What a heads-up play from the corner on the outside to pick it off and get upfield.
Terrell Miller was on the wrong end of that Marcel Williams touchdown catch at the end of the 1st half, makes up for it there, and sets Kent State up inside the 15-yard line. Not much doing on 1st down. Gage Summers makes the tackle on Drew DeShields.
2 players on defense for Akron that we need to say their names more are Gage Summers and Shaman Cooper. Number 7 and 23, the backers, they have got to be able to step up in a football game like this and make an impact on defense.
Second down after nothing doing on first. Garcia is the back. They give it to him. Decent space to the left side. Garcia dragged down from behind at the 7-yard line. Sets up 3rd and 4.
We know that Kent State wants to run the football with Garcia. They did it in the first half. In the red zone, they keep it on the ground with him. That means the running lanes defensively for the Zips have got to be under control and straight.
DeShields throwing end zone touchdown! Tarek Mulder! The touch pass from DeShields makes it a 2-possession Kent State lead.
Well, they got Somerville here, number 6, flat-foot, looking in the backfield with his eyes. Was completely out of position there for Mulder to be able to sneak out to extend this lead for Kent State.
Harisco tacks it on, and this game completely flipped on its head in the second half.
What an incredible job of taking advantage of the turnover to create some distance. The Golden Flash are rolling.
Terrell Miller's first interception sets up Kent State in great field position. They're able to extend the lead to 28-17 with Drew DeShields hitting Tarek Mulder on the short touchdown pass. What a start to the second half for the Golden Flashes.
This has certainly been a fun one and a change of the narrative from the first half as far as Kent State is concerned. Whatever coach said during halftime, to lock in that speech because it's had an impact.
Hills had a big return on the last one, trying to do it again. Not so much this time. He does get out to close to the 28-yard line. Well, Mark Carney and company probably had a sour taste in their mouth after that Ball State loss, 17-13 a week ago. Just a lot of kind of unforced errors and miscues that cost him that game, but trying to right the ship tonight.
Well, it kind of felt like it was a first-time head coach, and I think that's part of what the growing pains will be for anyone who steps into the seat for the first time. You're going to have that. It's like a young freshman, and we talk about some of the young players across both sides who are going to have some growing pains. I think it's the same for Kent State, but what's true is that the past 3 weeks since he's been at the helm, this team has performed much differently than they have the first half of the season. No doubt about it.
1st and 10, Finley. Good protection and overthrowing Israel Polk. His last couple throws just a little off target.
Was a little bit off target, but I'll tell you who wasn't off target. Jordan Gant. Watch this protection in the back. He's going to flip this guy over. That is something for me, Chucky, where I want that on my highlight reel. Yes, get some runs, get some touchdowns, but put the up-ender on there as well.
I want to see the Ray Lewis story that you told me. I want to see that on your highlight reel.
That's definitely not one for my highlight reel anyway.
2nd and 10. Good protection for Finley, throwing and hits his target this time. Here goes Lee! And tripped up, but a big play. They're going to say he was out of bounds at the 48-yard line. A much-needed connection.
What an incredible throw from Finley here. Louis going to go all the way across the formation and catch that football to get upfield. Kravac, 85, the tight end, had a chance to kind of help there. That's one of those situations you look back on and you say, hey, man, help a brother out when I'm catching this football and running, but a big-time play nonetheless for the Zips.
Sets up 1st and 10 just on the other side of midfield. That's batted down. Good hands coming off the edge by Joel Boama.
That is the coaching point. Get those hands up when you're blitzing. If you can't get to the quarterback, throw those hands up. Maybe you can deflect the pass. Excellent job. Now, right now, Chucky, for Akron, Gant has 13 carries for 75 yards. I know he's chasing 1,000 today. I'd love to see him get a few more touches.
Finley pushed it, he dropped the football! It's still loose! And a fight for it! Gant was at the bottom of the pile. And it's going to take a second to sort this out. And actually, it looked like Akron had the football. Sebastian Broughton. I don't know if it popped out of the pile after everyone hit the ground.
Recovered by the
There was
offense.
a lot of chaos happening around this football, but Finley's going to catch this snap and try to take a step up. He's just trying to get away from the pressure, but the bodies and all that chaos in front of him just knocked the football loose.
Are you fond of the bottom of these piles?
I am not. There's a lot of bad stuff that happens underneath those piles.
3rd and long, Finley and Akron desperately need a conversion. Finley moving around, still looking, throwing, and it's out of bounds. He had a lot of white jerseys he was looking at downfield. It's going to bring up 4th and 13, and the punting unit jogging on.
Well, this has certainly been a fun one in terms of the back and forth we go, but the momentum swing has swung to Kent State, and they've been able to hang on to it, despite the fact that Akron has been doing some positive stuff on offense. To me, this is a really big series coming up for Kent State to be able to extend this lead and put themselves in great position to close out this football game.
Harris fields this inside his own 15, breaks a couple tackles, gets to about the 16-yard line. Our ABC Saturday college football triple header has all the playoff implications. Number 9 Notre Dame taking on number 22 Pitt at noon Eastern. The College Game Day crew will be there to start the day. Then 4th-ranked Alabama, 11th-ranked Oklahoma in a big SEC matchup, and we'll cap the day with Arch Manning and Texas squaring off against Gunnar Stockton and Georgia in a top 10 matchup. Each game also available on the ESPN app.
Well, Chucky, let's take a look at this last drive. Finley was trying to get things moving, but then it was the nice pick. Able to take this the distance after picking that thing off, which led to the touchdown on the other side. Kent State able to stretch its lead.
Handoff, and there has been more of a concerted effort to get Cade Wolford the football in this second half. He's obviously made good on his touches with the touchdown already, but shocking we didn't see more of him in the first half.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see him continue to get to work here because they have such a luxury with him and his ability. Remember, he's a former running back. That's why they put him in the backfield, because they can hand the football off. But playing wide receiver mostly now, but that versatility just makes him so dangerous for a defense to stop.
Second and 4. DeShields throwing, pressure coming off his back foot. What a throw by DeShields to the sideline. Caught by Deshaun Martin. They move the chains. Drew DeShields with the window closing, hits it.
I mean, this is a perfect pass from DeShields. All this pressure in his face, and he's still able to set that right foot to deliver an accurate pass down the field. Right now, we have a number of guys in this game, Chucky, who are just playing outside themselves a bit, making plays in crucial moments. It's exciting to watch.
Handoff up the middle. This time it's Newbin on a short 1-yard gain. Spriggs in on the stop.
That's a nice job by Spriggs, but also Bruno Dole, number 41, the defensive end for Akron. He's a guy whose name we haven't called enough in this football game. They need him to be able to put some pressure on Drew DeShields to slow this passing attack down for Kent State.
Tim Tibazar, the defensive coordinator for Akron, said Dole, who is a native of Hamburg, Germany, has grown leaps and bounds since they got him, not just on the field, but physically. He came in 215, now 260 on that D-line. Second and 9, they swing out to Newbin on the left side. He's hit hard and dropped, and they get just one there on second down. This is a much-needed stop for Akron, and third down coming up.
Well, Chucky, going back to Bruno Dole, can't remember the last time I saw a foreign exchange football player. You see it sometimes in other sports, but not as much in football. And I will tell you this, as far as German is concerned, I know my German numbers because I took German in high school in Atlanta. For some reason, they're teaching German out in Atlanta in high school, but I can do my German numbers for you in a moment if you want to hear them.
Definitely, yes. Yeah, maybe between breaks. Big third and 8 here for both teams. DeShields, plenty of time, just a 3-man rush, stepping up, throwing, it's incomplete, beyond the reach of Martin, who he's looked toward a lot tonight. And that should bring on the punting unit for Kent State.
That would have needed to have been a perfect pass from DeShields there. Sometimes in those situations, too, when the quarterback's moving around, it's best as the wide receiver to find a spot and just stop and stay there instead of moving towards the sideline there. And I think that's what created a little bit of conflict between quarterback and wide receiver there to make that
25
catch.
for Kent State is wearing number 59. 25 is wearing 59.
Punt is away towards Sean Patrick, who calls for the fair catch. A lot of bodies around. Did this hit him? There is a flag that comes in, and I think it's going to be fair catch interference. Kent State thought maybe for the second time tonight they were going to get a turnover off of a punt.
Kick catch interference. Kicking team, number 32, 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
Looks like they get Trey Rubenstein here, number 32, just in the box there. Too close to the returner. You got to give him some space. He asked for a fair catch there.
Darius, you go back a couple drives when Akron had to settle for the field goal. They missed that field goal to extend it to a 6-point lead. On that drive, Marcel Williams had the double move that looked like it was going to go for a touchdown. There was the no call on the potential pass interference against Jair Rawlison. Since that point, this offense has just not looked the same, and they need a big drive and a score to try and get back in this game.
This goes to show you how much rhythm and momentum really matter to an offense in a cold, close game like this.
Handoff to Gant, who lowers the shoulder Close to the 48-yard line, a 4-yard pickup as the clock ticks down toward a minute remaining in the third quarter.
We talked a little bit about Gann. He's got 13 carries right now for 75 yards. They're going to get back in this game to get closer. They're going to have to really feature him because the offense was working so well when they mixed it up. It seems like a little bit here in this third quarter, they've been more reliant on the pass than they were in the first half. I think that has hurt them offensively as far as their productivity is concerned.
Ben Finley just 2 for his last 8 throwing. 2nd and 6. Finley toward the sideline. That is a perfect throw over the outstretched hand of a Kent State defender. It's incomplete. Gene Louis could not bring it in close to the sideline.
He had a chance on it. What an incredible pass from Finley here to drop this over the top of the defender.
Just tipped, too.
Trey Rubenstein there, number 32. Got a hand on the football. That still was an incredible throw. Give Louis an opportunity to catch that.
Akron fans are reacting to the replay that they just saw, same one we just showed you, feeling like maybe he had completed that catch and then it was ripped away by Tevin Tucker. And now there is a timeout on the field.
See Moorhead trying to get some clarity there. We'll take another look at this. Nice job by Rubenstein at just tipping that ball enough, but the concentration from Louis there to hang on to it, to attempt to hang on to it.
It's the ball moving. The ball seems to be moving kind of that whole time.
It's tough, too,
Akron
because the
head
call on
coach
the field.
calling a timeout to challenge the ruling on the field of an incomplete pass. The play is under further review.
Look, I think it makes sense to challenge it if you're Joe Moorhead, but it's hard to really have definitive evidence as we're looking at this to say definitively that he held on to that football, because right as Louis' back hit the ground, that ball was still in motion before it was hit out of bounds. He had a chance to secure it, but I think because of the tip, he just kind of lost his eyes on it, and it moved so fast. It's hard to see anything different than what was really called on the field, in my opinion.
Tevin Tucker, a guy who's dealt with a little injury for Kent State this year, making that play as a returning starter, was 3rd on the team a year ago in tackles. A redshirt sophomore from Kannapolis, North Carolina. Right there, it looks like he has it, and then it kind of becomes loose again.
After review, the ruling on the field is upheld, incomplete pass.
Yeah, not surprised on that one in terms of the looks that we had. There just wasn't enough there to overturn it. But I think we got to give Rubenstein a lot.
Akron is charged their second charge timeout of the second half, and they've lost all of their challenges for the remainder of the game.
I think we got to give Rubenstein there some vertical credit on that jump, too. He might be 34, 35 vertical, close to 40. That was nice.
What'd you have?
Up 40.
40?
Yeah, 40.
Oh, my goodness.
Hey, man.
Okay.
Hey, man.
All right.
I didn't skip leg day either.
I was unfamiliar with your work. 3rd and 6, 30 seconds to play in the third quarter. Akron down to just 1 timeout in a 2-possession football game. Pressure coming. Finley is dropped. CJ bringing the heat. He has had a tremendous month toward the back end of this season.
Well, we've been waiting for these linebackers to make a difference for Kent State. CJ Young, number 3 here. He has been playing outstanding all season. And this team has been getting after the quarterback. Ben Finley has just been completely uncomfortable in the box because of all these white jerseys, especially here in this third quarter.
That was
the end
number
of
6.
the third quarter.
And the final play of the third quarter, Kent State trying to snap a 2-game losing streak in this rivalry with Akron. They had their own streak before this, but a big third quarter for the Golden Flashes had them leading by 2 scores. Power 4 college football, not for the folks in Akron, Ohio. We watch the MAC, and it is not disappointed tonight. 5 lead changes between Kent State and Akron as the Golden Flashes lead by 11 entering the 4th quarter.
Got the shirtless guys out here. They're hanging in there. They give them a lot of respect for that commitment and investment to be out here putting themselves through some pain.
I know you're excited to shed the coat as soon as this is over and join them. Fielded at the inside the 25, and a good return. Almost a helmet came off. There is a flag that comes out on the return by Wayne Harris, and some pushing and shoving at the end of it. Some big special teams plays, both in the return game and also some blunders.
No doubt about it. What a big time return there. Not sure what happened with the helmet thing. It looked like it was Ronald Hull, number 5, the defensive tackle, who got Harris around the head on the sideline.
This could set Kent State up in exceptional field position. Already going to have a good look at it on the Akron side of midfield. See what the call is.
Personal foul, face mask, kicking team, number 5, 15-yard penalty added to the end of the run, 1st down.
did get Ronald Hole there. Number 5, the big man. Look at him coming to this screen. Now, this guy is 6'2", 300 pounds. I mean, Harris is lucky to be alive after that interaction with a man of that size. Great return, but even better field position now for Kent State.
Can't believe he kept his lid on. 1st and 10 at the 30. Garcia the back to Shields on the keeper. He's got 3 yards on 1st down. Justin Anderson missed the last couple games with a concussion, returns tonight, makes the stop.
Anderson, one of those guys who had that freshman year during COVID. He's actually been in college 5 years now. It's such an interesting thing for those student athletes that have been freshmen when that time happens to still be in college here now, trying to play some football and earn their rights at the next level.
2nd and 7 to Shields, taking a big shot. He's got a wide open man. Oh, Deshaun Martin. Kent State has broken it open in the 2nd half.
Well, sometimes, Chucky, for defenses, you live by it, die by it on the blitz. The Zips brought the house on that one. But the offensive line and running backs did an excellent job for Kent State to protect so that Shields could get that football out.
The extra point is good. 35-17 the lead for Kent State.
Now watch Ben Kamara here, number 14. He's at corner to the left of the screen. He gets caught up in all that action from the blitz, and it's just nowhere in the frame for Martin. Sometimes the eyes at corner, when you know you've got a blitzing thing there, and he slips a little bit trying to play defense on that side, but it's the eyes that were the problem at the beginning of the play. But an excellent route from Deshaun Martin to get himself wide open into the end zone to put further pressure on Akron in this football game.
2nd half team in 2 of their last 3 weeks. They erased an 18-point deficit against Bowling Green, scored 21 2nd half points. They were only down 3 at halftime tonight, but 21 unanswered points for Kent State to build this lead. Their defense too, Darius, which at times looked shaky in the 1st half, really kind of muscled up here in the 2nd.
I think you got to give Mark Carney and his staff a lot of credit in halftime adjustments and motivating their players to know that they got a lot on the line here still today to try to close this game out.
Into the end zone for a touchback.
One of the things that Mark Carney talked to us about when we got a chance to spend some time with him is just how focused he is on the student athletes and ensuring that not only they have a great time, that everyone is showing up the right way, working day in and day out. Really that player-coach style he brings to the table.
Just 4 bowl games in program history. The last was in 2021. Carney led a team as the interim to start the year before they removed the interim tag just a couple weeks ago of a program that won just 1 game in the last 2 years. Finley throws a strike to the 40-yard line. So you're fighting an uphill battle for a program that's clawing for success. Sean Lewis took them to 2 bowl games in 2019 and 2021. But Carney trying to rebuild to that level.
And I'll tell you, it's really, really hard to do, Chucky, because so much of this is about belief. So much about being in these games, winning close games is about belief. And so you got a team that hasn't had that success. Installing a new belief really takes time. So that's why I've been so impressed as we get the catch down. That's why I've been so impressed with what Carney and his team have been able to do in just a couple of weeks.
Mentioned he's a Cleveland native. He told us on our call, he said, look, it's believe land, man. If you don't believe, then we wouldn't be in this situation right now. Look, from an outside perspective, they've got 3 wins. They're looking for number 4. But when you think about what's happened the last couple of years, this is a very positive step in the right direction.
No doubt about it.
2nd and 9 for Finley. Pump fakes, throwing into coverage. It's batted away. His defense starting to pick it up. Terrell Miller again making a play outside. Had the pick earlier. There are flags in the backfield.
See if we can't get this call, but they've tried a couple of double moves here this series. Finley has to try to get this football down the field. Miller not fooled that time, though.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense, number 17, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Stretch Carroll with the personal foul. They had a couple last week. Mentioned the frustrations against Ball State. Don't want to give Akron any opportunities down the stretch. Zips in a tough spot, not just down what they are, but just with one timeout remaining.
That's a really big mistake from Carroll there, from a graduate senior who's experienced and knows better. These close matchups, they have a chance to put this team away. Good football teams do that.
That is just their third penalty tonight. Finley, pressure coming, throwing outside. It's too high and incomplete.
Nice job getting pressure up front, though, by the defensive line for Kent State.
Amon Williams, to your point, he was looking for a hold. Thought he was dragged backwards. He might have had Finley.
I agree with the inside there, because Williams was really getting tugged as he was getting closer to the quarterback.
They've sacked Finley 6 times tonight. Williams thought he might have had number 7 if he wouldn't have been pulled back. 2nd and 10, though, at the 44-yard line. Finley needs a big play. We haven't really said Marcel Williams' name. He looks that direction. Incomplete. Rollison in coverage. They've been battling it out all night long.
It's a nice job by Kent State here of dialing up the blitz. They brought both backers that time, trying to speed up the progressions for Ben Finley. And that's really been the change for Akron on offense. They just haven't been really forcing the football to Marcel Williams. He's number 2. He'll be towards the bottom of the screen there. They got to get him the football.
Just 4 for 12 on 3rd down. They get it to Williams, who is knocked down. And it was Rollison who came up and made the, or excuse me, Joel Cordoba who made the stop on the play to set up a 4th and 5.
And I love to see that from Joel Cordoba, number 21. Doing a good job coming up and making a play. We've talked about how he has struggled some, but perseverance, you continue to play on, even if you make mistakes in the game. So I like to see him continuing to fight to play some good football down the stretch.
Akron 1 for 1 on 4th down. They ran that quick quarterback keeper with Finley the last time. This is from 5 yards, though. Finley, pressure, steps up. He is going to take off, has a blocker, and pushes his way for the 1st down to keep it alive for Akron.
Thomas Aiden here, the defensive tackle, number 5. They ran a stunt up front where the defensive linemen go inside and outside. But Aiden has a chance on him, just doesn't settle his feet at the point of attack. Nice athletic move from Finley to get up the field to pick up the 1st down.
To run through the linebacker, Syed Abu Hamda, to reach the marker. 1st and 10 at the 34-yard line. Finley looking sideline. A lot of hand jostling, and there is a flag that comes out. Israel Polk working against Jair Rollison. Draws the flag.
Defense, number 22, 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
And it's just unfortunate for Rollison because he's in position. He doesn't necessarily need to grab because he's right there. It's just when Polk tries to come back for the football, he's got 2 hands on him. It prevents him from turning his body. And the point there for Rollison is when you're in position, you just go up to play the football. Forget about the offensive guy. Go up and play the football versus trying to stop him from catching the ball.
Still 11.5 minutes to play. If Akron can get in the end zone, make this a 2-score game.
Tons of time.
Could get interesting. Finley was way off target. He was looking in the direction of Williams, and Terrell Miller, the secondary, Darius, was looking a little shaky in the 1st half, to say the least. They have been excellent in the 2nd half.
They really have turned it on, too. And they've done a good job up front of doing games. They had some stunts. They also have been blitzing the linebackers here in the 2nd half. So the changes on defense by Cherokee Valera have really bode well for Kent State on defense.
Talked about Cherokee Valeria, came as a DB's coach in February, elevated to defensive coordinator in August. 2nd and 10, handoff to Gant. Has a decent gain toward the 12-yard line to make it 3rd and short.
Gant has not been able to get going since the first half. He's got 15 carries for 79 yards. There's still enough time to run the football here if you're Akron. You can't abandon it.
Finley just 3 for his last 10 and looking for Williams, who caught it. What a catch by Marcel Williams. His 2nd touchdown of the night. He had been a little quiet in this 2nd half, but a big-time grab in the end zone.
I mean, I feel so bad for Terrell Miller here, 18, because he's in position. It's a great back shoulder throw from Finley, but Miller's all over him. It's just an incredible catch from an elite wide receiver in this game who's been feeling it tonight. But I've asked for this defensively for Kent State, and I think this is another example of them hurting themselves in coverage where they're not double teaming Williams. It's clear that Akron has one guy to go to on the outside. They keep delivering him the ball, and for some reason, Kent State keeps putting just one guy on him in different parts of the field.
Finley's over 300 yards. Williams has 13 catches, 199 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And Akron is still down by 2 scores, but there's 10:53 to play. The kick by Sharam is good to make it an 11-point game.
Timeout.
Well, back and forth we go. My goodness, we've seen some really good football here this 2nd half. But the guy who's been playing lights out is Williams. He gets his 2nd touchdown catch of the day. Keep this game a little bit closer.
Marcel Williams, 2nd touchdown grab of the night. He's up to a $1.99. He's also on kickoff duties as well, so he's right back out on the field as Akron needs to stop quickly, Darius, but this is not quite over.
He has been outstanding here today. It really just kind of goes to show you that in these games, late in the season, when you have everything on the line, you see the talent across both of these teams.
Young talent, as we talked about with both of these teams. Ben Finley, who lost his top 5 weapons from a year ago, just really starting to get comfortable in the last month of the season with some of these young playmakers at receiver. Little pooch kick, and it's recovered, and it's Williams! Oh my goodness! What a play to give Akron life, and that's why Williams is on kickoff.
This is unreal, Chucky, unreal. Now, sometimes you're just a lucky guy in certain instances when you're feeling yourself. But watch the bounce of this football, Chucky. Watch where this football bounces.
The ruling on the field is
right
a free kick
to him.
Recovered beyond 10 yards.
It was on a string. It was on a yo-yo string. Unreal. Look, I give Williams all the credit for catching it, but sometimes when luck's on your side, you can do no wrong. You can absolutely do no wrong. Incredible.
I'm not sure Marcel Williams is always on kickoff. He might be now.
There was ever a time to put number 2 out there. Give it to him. Now, I've seen some coaches get aggressive in some of these moments. Go for Williams again. Give him a shot.
Finley looking downfield. It's not Williams, but he's got his man. Louis again inside the 25. Look at this from Akron.
What an incredible job by Louis there, just settling down towards the top of that route. And then Finley threw an on-time ball to connect.
1st and 10 at the 23. Finley handing to Gant, who shoots ahead to the 21-yard line, tackled quickly on the short gain on 1st down by C.J. Young.
Now, Chucky, we've got 10 minutes left here in this game. Right now, Akron's driving down the field. They've got an experienced quarterback in Ben Finley. He looks really comfortable right now. So right now, the edge is to them in terms of poise, playing down the stretch, because they've got an experienced quarterback who's been there before.
Akron took a 17-14 lead with 10 seconds left in the first half, but Kent State scored 21 unanswered. Now Akron trying to answer with a couple touchdowns of their own. Williams inside the 15, close to a 1st down, and I believe they will move the chains at the 13-yard line.
I'm still scratching my head with this here, Chucky, where Williams still has one-on-one coverage no matter where he's at in the formation. And for Kent State, it just does not make sense for this guy, number 2, to not be covered by 2 defenders. No matter what the formation is, no matter where he is, they've got to figure out how to take him away.
1st and 10 at the 13, handoff. Gant! Here goes Gant inside the 5. He's dropped at the 2-yard line by Rollison to set up 1st and goal.
Chucky, watch this block from Israel Polk, number 5. He's going to come into the frame late. Excellent block at the 2nd level to be able to give Gant the space to get up the field. That's full team blocking, but love to see a wide receiver come up and throw a block for the running back.
Finley. Kent State looked caught off guard, throwing toward Williams just over his hands. There's a flag that was thrown right at the snap. It looked weird when the ball was snapped to start the play. Kent State almost didn't look ready at the defensive line.
Williams, rightfully so, needing a blow there.
Offside. Defense. Number 6. Half the distance to the goal. 1st down.
It's in Maddox. Defensive tackle there. They got him for Kent State. Now, if you're Akron here, the simplest thing to do is to hand this football off to Jordan Gant, or to give Ben Finley the option to be able to hand it off or keep it himself. They've been winning at the line of scrimmage on this series. I say keep it on the ground. Try to get this into the end zone.
Jordan Gant has 99 yards. They are at the 1-yard line. Already 1 touchdown on the night. 1st and goal, 8:43 to play in the game. That just moments ago was a 3-possession game. It is Gant, and they stuff him maybe even before the line of scrimmage. White jerseys everywhere. Mason Woods was at the bottom of the pile as well as Cordoba.
Big job by the big man up front. Cordoba was unmoved in the middle of that defensive line. There was no space for Jordan Gant to go. And a lot has been said, you know, across the NFL with like the tush push. You can do that on defense where you get your big body guys in the middle of the offensive line and not get moved. It's a tush push of defense of sorts. Nice job by Kent State.
Gant again hit immediately. And he lost a yard that time. Joel Cordoba comes off the edge and makes the play to set up 3rd and goal.
Well, what a play for Cordoba here. Again, battling back. A guy who has made some mistakes today, but continuing to play. Makes one of the biggest plays tonight here for Kent State defensively to try to keep Akron out of the end zone.
3rd and goal, Darius at the 2.
Now for Akron, Marcel Williams is not on the field. If I'm Joe Moorhead, I would consider taking a timeout right now just to give him an option to catch his breath and get out there.
Massaging Williams' lower back. And do you have a direct line to the coach? What is going on
Timeout.
here?
Look, I'm just...
Akron.
Everyone's trying to win the game.
Timeout of the second half. This will be a 13-second timeout.
Get near the end, it sucks when they just call timeout after time.
Huh. I'll tell you, I will take that back massage, though. So that probably feels quite nice.
3rd and goal and a big decision here. They've tried twice with Gant, Darius. I mean, is this, what are you looking for here if you're Joe Moorhead?
So to me, the biggest question is Williams available to go? If he's available, you figure out a way to get him the football. You can throw it to him, send him in motion in some type of way if he's available. If he's not available, I still think that Ben Finley is a guy who can run the football as a runner. He's had some success in the middle of the defense. Both of these players have just been outstanding for Akron on offense. 95 yards for Gant, over 200 yards tonight for Williams. He's chasing that program record.
7:17 to play. Akron could still cut it to a 1-possession game with a field goal, but you know they're thinking 6. Gant in the backfield, Finley gonna throw, looking right side and just not on the same page with Israel Polk. He was trying to throw it back shoulder. Polk was going to the corner of the end zone.
Yeah, that's a miscommunication between the quarterback and the wide receiver there. We've seen Finley lock in with Marcel Williams and being on the same page. Polk hasn't had as many opportunities as Williams has had tonight. I think that disconnect made them off on that play.
Very important kick from Matthew Sharam, who missed his first field goal of the season earlier tonight when Akron could have made it a 6-point lead. This one splits the uprights, and how about this? We have a 1-possession game
Timeout.
in Akron,
Media.
Ohio. This is Maction at its finest on a frigid Tuesday evening. 45-27, Kent State leading Akron. These two quarterbacks have been slinging it all over the place. Drew DeShields and Ben Finley. Look at the numbers. 292 for DeShields. That is a career high. Ben Finley with 342 on senior night. They're playing for two former Fordham quarterbacks in Mark Carney and Joe Moorhead. Mark Carney said when he was looking to go to Fordham, it was Joe who was all over the record book. So he had kind of looked to him as a blueprint for how to get it done at Fordham. One of the records Mark set at Fordham, actually, he broke one of the records that Joe had. It was single game touchdown passes. He threw 5. He said Joe was actually on the staff at Georgetown. He was the first guy to congratulate him after that game. They're still in the record books, passing yards and passing touchdowns. And again, a short kick. And this time, Kent State able to recover. Almost more drama on the kickoff. But these two go way back to their connection in 2001, Darius, and a lot of mutual respect between the two coaches.
Well, you love to see that, too, and hear about that, because it's a small world. It really is, with how some of these circles are. So to have those experience for both of them to have it, just excellent and fun to hear about. Now, I wonder, at the beginning of the game, I thought they might have been talking about the record. Maybe Joe was like, well, you didn't break mine, or, you know, if I had another game back in my day, you know how we always do.
Joe had very successful 4 years as a head coach at Fordham with 38-13. Right now, his Akron defense needs a stop against Mark Carney and Kent State. Flag on the field. It's going to be a delay of game.
Delay of game, offense, number 58, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Akron does not have any timeouts remaining, Darius. The longest drive for Kent State tonight, only 4:19. 7:11 to play in the fourth quarter. This has been a drama-filled action Tuesday night. 1st and 15. DeShields handoff going right side to Garcia, who's got great space over there, and he gets 10 yards back on first down, pushed out of bounds by Elijah Reed.
My goodness, Chucky on the outside. The block from the wide receivers has just been outstanding for Kent State down the stretch here. Was Boulder out there blocking on the outside. Terrific job to set Garcia up.
They marked him out at the 46-yard line, so he got 9 yards back to set up 2nd and 6. Kent State letting the play clock tick down. Now at 5. Man in motion, they give it to him. It's Wolford going left side. He's got a first down to the 45.
I like the play design there from Kent State, trying to get the football to Wolford on the outside. Gage Summers, number 23, the Mike backer for Akron. It's brought him along the edge, and that's the question right now for Akron is, do they apply pressure to Drew DeShields to try to hurry him in this moment? It's something they haven't really done a whole lot of here in the second half. Now might be a time to apply some pressure to a young quarterback in a stressful situation.
DeShields on the keeper, bounces it outside. He lost the football. They're going to say he was down. They blew it dead, and Akron had
Ruling on the field.
It was recovered by Hull, but they said DeShields was down.
Well, look at the hit here from Malcolm DeWalt, 17. He's going to come into the left of the screen and up into DeShields. Nice job of just playing on the edge. Wow. I don't know, that looked like that ball was bobbling.
Clearly, that was free.
Was in the air.
Oh my goodness, and now the whistle's coming.
Take a look at that one.
The ruling on the field is the runner was down.
Now, Chucky,
that play is under further review.
One of the things we talked about is the experience of Ben Finley being an experienced player in this game, and the lack of experience for Drew DeShields making his first career start and his first year as a starter. A young quarterback who's dealt with injury in a really tight spot here. So a nice job by DeWalt of upending DeShields, but look at that football. That football was moving at the collision. That is a fumble.
Everybody in the stadium knows this is Akron football. Even the Kent State defense is on the field right now huddling because everyone saw it on the big screen here at InfoCision Stadium at Suma Health Field.
Now protecting the football as well. One of the things you want from Drew DeShields there is to put two hands on the ball instead of just carrying it with one arm there. But again, you've got a young quarterback who's just not as experienced in these type of games and in these type of moments.
Kent State took a 35-17 lead with 14 minutes left in this game.
Unreal. But that's why you play until the game is over. You play to win the game. The experience right now for Akron and Joe Moorhead is playing out in a positive way for them down the stretch to end this football game. You've just got a more experienced team with a more experienced leader. Because think about it, Chucky, for Mark Carney and his staff, this is Carney's first opportunity as a head coach. First time being in this type of situation, in this rivalry game with everything on the line. While for Joe Moorhead and Ben Finley and company, they just have been here before.
Joe Moorhead and Akron as we get set to hear this call.
At the review, the ball carrier was losing the possession of the ball before he went to the ground. There was a clear recovery by the defense at the 42-yard line. It will be first down and 10 for Akron.
Malcolm DeWalt, the fourth, with the turnover tire and has given Akron even more life and an unbelievable turnaround in the fourth quarter for the Zips, trying to make it 3 straight over their rivals from just down the road.
Now, Chucky, I know that wagon wheel is on the line. I think I like the idea of getting some wagon wheel chains made on, whoever wins this game. Some iced out wagon wheels going across.
I'd like to see you rocking that. First and 10.
Flavor Flav style with a big clock, big wheel.
Finley, time, throws short to Gant, who is dragged down from behind at the 48-yard line. They get 6 yards on first down. And this Akron offense, we talked about the rhythm, it kind of fell out of it. They are certainly back in it.
No doubt, and the creative play calling from Joe Moorhead again on display. Now I'm looking for Marcel Williams. I don't think he's on the field at the moment, which is surprising.
Handoff to Gant, and it looks like one official has him at the first down, one has him just shy. We'll see who marks the football. I think they're going to move the chains. Or no, they're not. They're going to say 3rd and inches. Finley thinks it's a first down. He's looking to the sideline.
Wondering about the spot there.
5 for 15 on 3rd down tonight. Just a touch above their season average. Handoff to Gant, shoots ahead. He's got the first down by about a yard.
Now, Chucky, I'm wondering for Marcel Williams. He's on the sidelines right now. We've talked about his numbers today. Over 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. Just standing on the sideline. Now, they were working on his back. He was also working on his leg. I know he has produced a lot, but it'd be great if Akron had him in this moment.
Finley taking a shot, and it is incomplete. That time, Cameron Montero, the intended target. He was looking for a flag, not going to get one.
I'm a little surprised there wasn't a flag there as well. On Kanan Williams, number 10. Take another look at this, Chucky, but Williams looked like at the end of the play, he was grabbing him. He was in position, a nice job out there. He had hands on him before the ball got there.
2nd and 10 now at the 47. Still no Marcel Williams on the field. Where's Finley going to go? Looking to the right side and short just across the 45, and it looks like Kravac stayed in bounds and actually got it all the way to the 42.
Krvac's a guy who they want to get more touches to. Another one of those first-year starters for Akron on offense.
Finley's thrown for 300, Gantz rushed for 100, and Williams is over 200 receiving. All day for Finley, throws across the middle, and to the 29-yard line goes Kravac.
Not sure what happened to DJ Barnes there from his safety position for Kent State. Got lost with where his threats were and was out of position in the middle of the field.
2:30 left in the game. Finley looking sideline and hits his man. Israel Polk with a big catch inside the 15.
Excellent job from Polk here working against Rollinson, 22. Nice job at the top of the route, making that catch and then getting up the field. Looks like Marcellus Williams is back out. He's at the top of the screen, number 2. That is a huge red flag if you're Kent State to have number 2 at the top of the screen solo.
They've thrown him 2 jump balls tonight. This time, again, Finley and Polk not on the same page, and it's incomplete. Polk had plenty of room in the middle of the field.
Yeah, it's just a missed throw from Ben Finley there. You got to lead the wide receiver when he's coming across the field. I think he was thinking that Polk was going to settle down and stop, but Polk kept running that route. Miscommunication between the quarterback and the wide receiver.
That was Ben Finley's 50th passing attempt. 2:05 to play in the fourth quarter. Akron does not have any timeouts. It is do or die on this possession, and they'll need the 2-point conversion if they can get in the end zone, and they do! Israel Polk hangs on. Flags come out, but it's a touchdown for Akron. 2 points from tying this football game that they trail by 18 in the fourth quarter.
Personal foul, targeting, defense, number 22. That foul for targeting is under further review.
We're going to take another look at this. I'm not sure if it's Rollinson or Cordoba, 21, who made this hit.
The foul is against number 21.
They got targeting at the end of that. But remember the rule there. It's the head and neck area of a defenseless receiver, or using that helmet as a spear and launching oneself.
Helmet to helmet contact on a defenseless player. What a job by Israel Polk to hang on to this football,
Especially
knowing that that's coming.
Yeah, across the middle, knowing you're going to take a shot there.
This is a big call too, Darius, because if this is targeting, Cordoba is ejected from the game. If Akron goes on to get 2 points here and we potentially have to go to overtime, that's one of your starting defensive backs who is no longer available.
Yeah, this game and the first half of the next game as well, if it is targeting. A lot on the line here for both of these teams down the stretch. I mean, I said this earlier, Chucky, I don't know about you, but I'm having a great time with this one.
This is incredible. I mean, it looked like Akron was down and out. They cut it to a 2-possession game, and then it was kind of the pooch kick, which was unbelievably placed by Owen Wiley down the sideline. Marcel Williams, that might have been his best catch of the night in recovering that. We'll go to the 2-minute timeout after this as well, by the way. So we're going to get the 2-minute timeout. Akron does not have any timeouts, so it's going to come down to this 2-point conversion to decide the game. And if we'll get even more dramatic. The zippy stuffed animals in the crowd. We've seen a lot of
After
them.
review, the foul for targeting is confirmed. Number 21 for Kent State is disqualified from further action in the game. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. Touchdown is good.
That's a true freshman, Joel Cordoba. Targeting confirmed. His night is done. And now the biggest play of the night is coming for Ben Finley, a redshirt senior from Phoenix, Arizona. On senior night, needs a 2-point conversion to keep Akron's hopes alive.
Now, Marcel Williams is in the game for Akron, but I'm not sure he's fully healthy. They have not targeted him since he entered the game a few plays ago in this series. He's going to be in the slot towards the top of the screen. He's been dynamic, but I'm not sure he's fully healthy. I think if you're Kent State, you also got to factor in Ben Finley's ability to be able to run the football out of this formation.
Finley, hand to Patrick. They flip it. They throw it. He's got it.
This is the 2-minute timeout.
I mean, Chucky, this is insane. You have these plays in practice, and you practice them once or twice, but you just assume there's no way we're calling this in a game. But Joe Moorhead comes out of the bag, uses Marcel Williams as a decoy. He can throw the football to Finley to get the 2-point catch. Number 2 can do it all. We got a tie football game. Loving this action tonight.
Tied for the first time tonight. 1:59 to play in the game. 35 all. 5 lead changes. Ben Finley has thrown for 395 yards. Marcel Williams has thrown a 2-point conversion. He's got over 200 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns. He's recovered an onside kick, and the scoring runs we've seen in this second half, Darius. 21 unanswered for Kent State to open the second half, 18 unanswered for Akron to get back in it.
I mean, it's a Tuesday night, and we've got an incredible football game here.
This is sent over the head of Martin for a touchback. Drew DeShields, a redshirt sophomore in his first season playing college football, a chance to win it against their rivals. $35 all, a minute 59 to play between Kent State and Akron. UFC 322 is Saturday at Madison Square Garden, highlighted by two title fights. The welterweight and women's flyweight belts are on the line. Prelims begin at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. The main card at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific on pay-per-view. Buy it at ESPNplus.com/PPV. Kent State has big play options on the field. Darius Wolford and Darylis Clark. We've seen them both make those happen as DeShields fumbles the snap, and there's a pile on the field. It looks like Kent State retained possession.
Oh my goodness. DeShields is so lucky that he was able to get this. That ball was way outside to the right. And all those blue jerseys in there. I tell you, Chucky, bad things happen in those piles when that football is on the line. Kent State is lucky to get away with one.
Under a minute 30, DeShields rolling, that's incomplete, and quickly, that is a third down. Remember, Akron doesn't have any timeouts, but there's a minute 25 to play here on 3rd and 16.
So we're seeing the inexperience really get the best of DeShields at this moment. He had no pressure on him, could have stepped up in the pocket in that moment to try to find someone down the field. Instead, he started to escape. I think he's starting to hear footsteps because he got hit a few times. There's a lot of pressure in this game. DeShields has to settle himself in, or they're going to be in some serious trouble.
3rd and 16. This is a big decision here. And they are going to run the football. Newman is tackled quickly, but they are going to try and drain this clock with the Zips out of timeouts. It's going to tick down around the 42nd mark before they can snap it.
Look, I think it's a smart call from Mark Carney to just try to tick this clock down to get into overtime, but just with how this game is feeling in this moment with the momentum for Akron, just reduce the amount of time that they have with the football in their hands.
Charlie Durkin on to punt. Sean Patrick, a redshirt freshman, Ohio native, deep to return, standing at his own 35-yard line. Kent State will take a timeout.
Timeout.
With 37 seconds left in the
That is
fourth quarter.
first
Could there be
charge
one
timeout
more turn
of the second half
in regulation in this
30-second timeout.
unbelievable Tuesday night matchup? This, Darius, it's Tuesday, like you said. This is going to be the most dramatic game of the week. I'm sorry. I don't want to spoil it for anyone. This is it. You're watching.
But I mean, the thing is, Chucky, is these student athletes have class tomorrow. Like, it's not a Saturday where you can have this and just hang out. They
Number
gotta go to school
25
tomorrow.
for Kent State.
But what a record-setting
number
night
59.
for
25
these
for Kent
three
State.
student athletes, these three football players.
First
time in history. 350 passing yards, over 100 rushing yards, and 200 receiving yards. What a bright future for Akron, this program, both of these programs.
They have braved the cold. Durkin sends it away. Kind of a wobbly punt is going to land at the 37 and take an Akron bounce. It's going to be down there, and there is time, Darius. 28 seconds. Don't forget first downs. Stops the clock while they reset the football. The Zips, could they do it after trailing by 18?
But you have to remember here, for the Zips, the goal is not necessarily to score a touchdown immediately. What you're trying to do is just get chunk plays. You need 10 yards, you need 12 yards. That means that you're going to target out-breaking routes. So if I'm Akron, I'm calling plays where the outside wide receivers are running 10 yards and then escaping towards the sideline to try to catch the football and get out of bounds. That can get lost on defense sometimes for Kent State, where they're just backing themselves up, trying to come up to tackle a guy versus worrying about the chunk plays. I think Joe Moorhead has been here before. He will understand how to drive this football down the field.
Marcel Williams is not on the field for Akron. Finley throwing over the middle, got it to the 45-yard line. Polk has spun around and dropped there. The clock stops for just a moment while they get to the line. And a spike with 22 seconds left.
And it looks like, from my perspective, Chucky, that Kent State is just kind of out there in no man's land, not really trying to come up and to play football. They're just assuming that Akron's going to let this go to overtime, which is a mistake. Joe Moorhead is calling plays to get chunk plays down the field. He's not trying to score touchdowns. There's no reason for Kent State secondary guys to be backing up so far.
Finley stepping up, throwing sideline. That's over the head of his intended target, incomplete. 14 seconds left on the clock. Matthew Sharam's season long is 44 yards. Darius, though, the wind has kind of been against teams going in this direction all night long.
The drama continues here, but a nice job for Kent State secondary. They closed the splits on the outside with the trips, only had 5 yards in between them and the wide receiver, trying to take away those short chunk passes.
Marcel Williams remains on the sideline. 2nd and 10 from the 45. Finley throwing, that is incomplete. His arm was hit as he threw, and there might have been a miscommunication as well.
Kent State has settled themselves defensively, keeping themselves in position, trying to send this game into overtime.
What are you looking for on this play?
I think they still can get some chunk plays out of this. So Polk has been the guy, number 5 for Akron. He's in the 2nd position towards the bottom of the screen of this trips. Sending him on a corner route to try to catch the football around the 30-yard line makes a ton of sense.
Finley, a lot of pressure. It's incomplete. He had to get it out quickly. Louis couldn't haul it in. And now 4th down with 6 seconds left. Cherokee Valeria, Darius dialing up the pressure on Joe Moorhead and Ben Finley.
Now, it's unfortunate for Akron in this stage that they don't have Marcel Williams out there. I know we're asking a lot of him. He's had a terrific day, over 200 yards receiving. But I think his presence not being there really impacted this drive by not having him available.
Remember, one of their starting defensive backs for Kent State, Joel Cordoba, ejected from the game for a targeting call on the last touchdown catch from Israel Polk. It is now 4th and 10 with 6 seconds left. Flag down for a delay of game. They're having a conversation on the sideline for Akron, what exactly they're looking for on this play, the final play likely of regulation. Finley drops back. Only one receiver downfield. He's just going to throw this out of bounds, and they are going to take it to overtime. A thought that was almost inconceivable just 30 minutes ago when there was about 11 minutes left in this game, and Akron trailed by 18. But here we are, 35 all. The wagon wheel awaits the winner of this incredible battle between Kent State and Akron.
Regular football, second overtime.
Cheese it overtime here in Akron, Ohio.
If you go to a third overtime, you're only having 2-point conversion tries from the 3-yard line.
35 all between
here,
Kent State and Akron.
That's tails, that's heads. Kent, call the toss, please. Heads. It is tails. Do you want to go offense, defense, or end of the field? You want defense. What end of the field will we play on first? South end zone? All right. Put your back to
Kent
that
State
goal.
will have
Put
the
your
wind at their back. Akron will defend first in this cheese it overtime.
Akron, 1st and 10, 25-yard line.
Drew DeShields, 4 touchdown passes to 4 different players. Marcel Williams has been unbelievable for Akron, but we did not see him on their last drive. And Darius, what we have seen in the fourth quarter has been nothing short of unbelievable.
I mean, it just was unreal. 12 minutes left in this game. We were thinking that this game was completely over, but Akron had other things in mind. It started with Ben Finley, making sure that he was getting that football down the field. Polk catches that, and then this was the touchdown play after that two-point conversion to tie this football game up at 35.
Who will lift the wagon wheel at the conclusion of this one? Kent State gets it first. Drew DeShields and this offense have looked rattled down the stretch. What do they have to do to settle in?
Well, we talked at the top about Cade Wolford and what he does, number 21 for them. I think they can get back to figuring out how to feature him. Now, he's going to be next. Drew DeShields, number 21, Cade Wolford. He is their star. Had a big touchdown earlier in this game. They need to feed him the football the way Akron's feeding Williams the football on their side.
It's a pass. DeShields on play action, looking end zone, wide open man, and on the first play of overtime, it's a touchdown. Ardell Banks hauls it in. Kent State back on top.
Well, what a play call from Clay Patterson here. They use Cade Wolford as a decoy, bring him back into the game, fake the football handoff to him, and then look at the two levels that the Shields have. They simplified these routes on the outside where he's got two options. He can hit Banks or Mulder there, the tight end, both guys at different levels. Able to get the football to Banks to score right away.
Ardell Banks' 10th catch of the year, just his second touchdown. They're going to take a look at this, see if he maybe stepped out of bounds before reaching the end zone.
Let's see if we can see from our angle here.
If he did, it would be the left foot, but you can't tell. Maybe this angle?
Branch is kind of in the way of the shot, just a teeny tiny bit. But it certainly looks like he's coming up off the white there without stretching that football over.
It's that big toe.
The difference between, you know, if he's wearing an 11.5 cleat or a size 12 cleat.
Question is, do the replay officials think it's enough?
As that second shot that we saw, it certainly is pretty clear that his foot is coming up off of the white. I know it needs to be definitive, and Branch kind of obstructs the view a little bit, but pretty clear that that left foot is on the white as it comes up. But a heck of a play by Banks either way.
This is a big call, too, and we talked about this early in the game. Kent State, their red zone numbers are kind of unusual because they just haven't been in the red zone this year. They entered the night. They'd only reached the red zone 13 times. A lot of their touchdowns had come from outside of it. Their red zone success rate from a touchdown perspective was not good. Just 6 of 13 scoring touchdowns. So now here you are potentially needing to get it in from 2 yards out. Seems simple enough, but we've seen much stranger things in this game to know it's going to be straightforward.
Not on Maction on a Tuesday. No way. But you got to give Clay Patterson, the offensive coordinator for Kent State, a lot of credit on simplifying the reads for Drew DeShields on that play. Put themselves in position.
It's got to be the angle and kind of the depth perception looking at that foot.
And I think the obstruction of Branch there too, you just couldn't see enough of it for them to overturn it. I understood if it would go either way there. But wow, what a turn of events here.
Harisco on to make it a 7-point game. and splits the uprights 42-35. First play of overtime. The Golden Flashes jump in front, and the ball is back in Ben Finley's hands.
Now, I think truthfully, somebody obviously has to win this game, but I think both of these teams have played well enough to win this game. So you have to give both teams a lot of credit. But for Akron, the record-setting trio has really been the difference for them. Over 400 yards passing for Ben Finley. Gant's got 100-yard rushing, and Marcel Williams has just been outstanding all day. Over 200 yards receiving for him. First time in program history to have a passer over 350, 100-yard rusher, and a 200-yard receiver.
Gant is in the backfield. Williams, we saw him between the break go to the locker room. I don't think we've seen him come back out as Gant is bottled up in the backfield. They're going to lose almost 5 yards on the first play.
Well, Mason Maddox, number 6, the big defensive tackle. He's the first guy to get there to grab Gant. And then the rest of the cavalry comes to jump on top. And right now, it just feels like Kent State's playing a little bit more spirited to close out this game.
Finley throwing short, and they get a decent chunk of it back to Kravac, the tight end, to set up 3rd and 4.
We're seeing some Kent State defenders move a little bit slower today. You gotta understand that exhaustion is set in. Guys are tired. It's a long night. It's cold. But Carroll there, the defensive end, he was slow to react. Now for Akron, they've got Marcel Williams back in the football game. He's at the bottom of the screen, number 2. And for some reason, Kent State looks like they're playing him one-on-one.
Finley kind of using him as a decoy going corner. It is incomplete. He was looking in the direction of Brandon Hills. Or excuse me, that's Gene Louis, the intended target, and it comes down to this, a 4th and 4.
Now you have to remember that for Akron, they can still get a first down, so they don't need to score a touchdown in this moment. I like the idea of calling a play from Joe Moorhead, something that gets them 4 to 5 yards versus trying to get a touchdown in this moment.
Gant in the backfield. Williams is out wide. Haven't called his name since he threw it to Finley on the 2-point conversion. Finley, last chance, throwing short, incomplete! Unbelievable! Kent State wins it! The wagon wheel is headed back to Kent, Ohio. In a 4th quarter, every person in this building will remember for a long time, Akron comes up short, and Kent State under their new head coach, Mark Carney. Hadn't been 2 weeks full-time in the job since the interim tag came off, and he's got a rivalry victory.
And honestly, when we spoke with Carney, I was just struck by his infectious nature, about his approach to football, his approach to life. And I think you just saw that with his team here today. And when you have a leader that can connect emotionally, also has the technical X's and O's, it can just propel your program in a really fast way. I think we're seeing Kent State really step up into a program that can make some noise in the MAC. Let's take one more look at this. Watch Derek Jackson, number 31. He's the guy in the middle of the field. His presence there was enough to make sure that ball wasn't caught, in addition to the pressure on Ben Finley there. And the wagon wheel, it's on the move.
Kent State won one game the last 2 years. Mark Carney just led them to their 4th victory. They've got 2 games left, and they've got a chance to run the table and make a bowl game.
Unbelievable. And you have to be super excited for what they've been able to do and what Carney has been able to do in a short amount of time. Remember, that interim tag was just lifted a few weeks ago, so he's not even 2 weeks into being employed as the head coach of Kent State. What a fun one this was on a Tuesday night.
He's a Northeast Ohio kid, Mark Carney, born and raised. And he just picked up a rivalry win in his first chance against Akron. Unbelievable stuff. A huge thank you to our producer, Jeff Graham, director Kevin Shank. My partner, Darius Walker, wouldn't want to do it with anybody else. Thanks for joining us, everybody. I'm Chucky Kemp. We'll see you next time.